Thought crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes.
comfort slave. So why you tryna give me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hate, nah. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers, rapists and thieves. So why should I be patient? I said he pull crime, cake of crime, yo crime, slow crime, flow crime, cake of crime, war crime. Said he pull crime, cake of crime, yo crime, slow crime, flow crime, cake of crime, war crime. Said he pull crime, cake of crime, yo crime, slow crime, flow crime, cake of crime, war crime. Said he pull crime, cake of crime, yo crime, slow crime, flow crime, cake of crime, cake of crime. Hey, my nigga, I ain't hating, and my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know everything that they got comfort slave. So why you tryna give me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hating, nah. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers, rapists and thieves. So why should I be patient? I feel like Babylon and Generation B8 with clean sense, uncommon, can you see straight? Freeze frames by the block in the deep state, deep fake DNA. I'm mobbing with the think tank. Be on the block with the guards where the beats done. What makes it loud for a law, get your beat stung. Freeze frame, make it hard for bombers roll through. That hating energy get barbecue beef bump. You work a third of the day to get the shame. Yeah, we got just like the murderers and rapists that you claim, that you climb. So we burn a little sage, then we raid in your spot.
Get down, nigga, get your motherfucking ass down. What that motherfucker doing at fuck,
nigga? Pull crime, cake of crime, yo crime, slow crime, flow crime, cake of crime, war crime. Said he pull crime, cake of crime, yo crime, slow crime, flow crime, cake of crime, war crime. Said he pull crime, cake of crime, yo crime, slow crime, flow crime, cake of crime, war crime. Said he pull crime, cake of crime, yo crime, slow crime, flow crime, cake of crime. Hey, my nigga, I ain't hating, and my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know everything that they got comfort slave. So why you tryna give me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hating, nah. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers, rapists and thieves. So why should I be patient?
I said he pull crime, cold crime, cold crime, slow crime, slow crime.
Why you lie?
Cold crime, said he pull crime, cold crime, cold crime, slow crime, slow crime, cold crime, cold crime. Said he pull crime, cold crime, cold crime, slow crime, slow crime, cold crime, cold crime. Said he pull crime, cold crime, cold crime, slow crime, slow crime, cold crime, cold crime. Hey, my nigga, I ain't hating. My nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know everything that they got comfort slave. So why you tryna give me occupation? My nigga, I ain't hating, nah. And my nigga, I ain't lazy. But I know hoagies and some cold-blooded killers, rapists and thieves. So why should I be patient?
Warning. The Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful. Snowflakes should not view this content under any circumstances, even if supervised by a G.I. Joe, Navy SEALs, Army vet, or someone with good common sense. The views and opinions expressed, including the depictions of persons of color, corrupt politicians, white people with or without a tan, haters, who have yet to brush their teeth typing angrily in the comment section with hot breath syndrome, do not reflect any official policy or position of the U.S. government. This program contains graphic language, dark comedy, unique intelligence, creativity, a high credit score, and high blood pressure when triggered. This program has also been accused of racism, violence, misogyny, mansogyny, feminism, MGTOWism, defacement of celebrities, and of course, being a bully. Welcome to Thought Crimes.
Welcome to Thought Crimes, everyone. This is your girl, Sincere, and I'm here with...
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your man, P Solo, back in the building again. Sorry about that, you all. Hold on. Let's get it right.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Hold on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you guys did not get a chance to hear what I was stating here, your man, P Solo, good morning, you all. We got a couple things we're going to be jumping into. We hope you guys are feeling good, too, by the way.
Yes, J.P. Morgan, absolute power, the banking order, and also Keefe D found guilty of first-degree murder of the murder of Tupac Shakur, and we're going to get into that as well. I just want to say thank you to all the artists who send their music to us. Hersey out of the UK, what's up? Bayo all the way from South Africa, we love you. DJ L, London, Buckner from Chicago, Black American from Chicago, man, we love you. And then also, of course, the War Crime track itself. We just got to thank everybody for, the work and the love that they put in as well, sending their amazing music to us. Even also Big Baby Gandhi. Anything else? Let me see if I'm forgetting anything else in this. So again, thank you all for Oni, for War Crimes, DJ L, Hersey, and Bayo, and everyone. Thank you for sending your music.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know what time it is. All right, it's time to leave it on the nigga. All right, boys and girls. And with that being the case, folks, y'all know what I mean by that. Officer Keefe D. No, excuse me. I'm joking about that. We're going to be talking about Keefe D. We're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about Keefe D. We are going to break down what's been taking place and where could that lead to, by the way. And then we're also going to be talking about J.P. Morgan. And, for, people when they're crying about some of the stuff that they're seeing right now, I'm not saying you don't have the right to protest and, vote these people out of office by way of the politicians that you choose. But, sitting, I kind of want to give you guys a little bit of the foundational spirit of this country. All right. That's what we want to say. The foundational spirits of America. A little bit of FSA for you all out there, too, by the way. So we're going to be delving into that as well. Now, let's get straight to the hip hop stuff first, and then we'll end off on the J.P. Morgan stuff, and then we're going to cover some things in between too. By the way, look, not J.P. Morgan, Keefe D, the blind crip nigga that he is, showed his ass. All right, now one of the reasons why he felt comfortable going around and saying this because. He felt, look, I'm going to get me some clout off of this. I want some of that energy. I killed the most famous rapper of all time. All right? The most famous rapper of all time. I need to see. I need something out of this. The entitlement, right? This nigga died. Nobody left me nothing. Diddy didn't even pay me, right? That's what Keefe D was saying. So Keefe D said, hey, you got to get yours. I got to get mine. That's what he said. So he went around on these platforms and he really caught a lot of waves, when he sat down. Yeah, when he sat down with the Art of Dialogue. That's the one I seen that really took him off to the next level. Then he went to Vlad. I think he went to Capone News. And then he went to some other ones. I don't know if he did anything on Bomb first. But he got what he was looking for. Attention. He got some attention. He got him a little bit of real estate, little 12 by 12. He got him a little bit of a situation. I heard the property's really great. All right. And so, Sid and I, we did say, though, however, first of all, you got to do is pay a nigga an attention. And that's what he got, you killed. No, really. You do kill the most famous rapper of all time. And you didn't get paid for it. They said the Zip nigga died of cancer in the process, but, other people saying he started up a club. Gene Deal says, for the most part, he started up a club. And Gene said he saw the check being handed over. So you're starting to have all of these people come out now. And Gene has been, talking like this for the past, 15 years. I think even going back to
the old Tupac and Biggie documentaries in the late '90s, right? And this is around when I believe Russell Poole was running around, and they, he was talking about, the details surrounding Tupac and Biggie, and then Biggie and the Rampart scandal, and then they told Russell Poole, "Hey, buddy, why don't you come down to your boys in blue, man, and just talk with us for a moment? We want to talk to you all about the information that you have." And then he mysteriously had a heart attack while in the Los Angeles Police Department. So right now, Keefe D has officially been found guilty. Now, Sin and I, we said, of course, and you guys know in hip-hop, there's some other tie-ins to this, and there's a good chance that Keefe D is still going to try to make a deal somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Biggie's death and murder is still unsolved. So, Diddy is not out of the woodworks yet when it comes to all of this. And a lot of the people who participated in the murder of Tupac and Biggie, there's still more people who can get arrested, people. You still got one unsolved murder left between the two. And this is very important to say because a lot of people think it's just going to get wrapped up with Keefe D. Maybe it could be. Or it could just be getting started.
All right, Sin, let's get straight into it. A Los Angeles jury found Dwayne Keefe D. Davis guilty of first-degree murder with a deadly weapon. Of course, it's on August 31st, which was yesterday, September 1st. You guys know what it is. Ironically, this would be the month anniversary. This is the month that Tupac did get shot and killed in Los Angeles, right? I mean, not Los Angeles, Nevada. I think it was the 4th. I think he got shot on the 4th or something like that, and then he died on the 13th, Friday the 13th. But anyway, in connection to the September 1996 drive-by shooting of Tupac Shakur. The charge and liability, it says, under Nevada law, prosecutors did not need to prove that Keefe D pulled the trigger. Instead, they argued that he acted as the on-site commander. Now, what did Keefe D say? Like, damn. What was he saying? I was a general in the streets.
Yes, he was.
He said it himself. Y'all know nothing about that. I was a general.
Snitching. Yes, he was. He said he was a general in the street. Yeah. He said he saw Tupac doing the Harlem Shake when he was getting all the bullets. And I think this is poetic justice, a black man trying to get clout off of another black man's death, on some cool shit. You should be in prison.
Well,
but what is an important
thing...
The
DA got clout of locking him up, though.
But the important thing that you said, though, there is that they had enough to say you're found guilty just by being involved, even though you didn't pull the trigger, and we don't have to prove that.
No, because he was like, damn. I was like, damn, when they were shooting him. I was watching him get shot, like, damn.
He gave everybody 4K detail on Art of Dialogue, on VAD TV.
Wrote a book.
On Capone.
He wrote a book.
A funky book.
Like, damn. They really found me locked up. Like, damn. Cold, I was fucked up.
And, we talked about how these guys don't have no intelligence. Like, they just out there just loose lips.
We told y'all, look, I mean,
shout out to Brandy in the chat.
Yeah, shouts out to BK. BK is in the building, man. Shouts out to Brandy. We got to chop it up. Because Brandy doing a lot, and she got a lot of haters, too, by the way. So
yes, we saw also what she talked about Lamar Park, about, people disrespecting the market on Sunday. We're definitely going to have Brandy either come in on a live to talk about it or do a pre-recording where, we animated like how we did Billion and also how we did our conversation with Tommy Dorfman.
Yeah, and also BK, I keep seeing all of these dusty folks commenting under that one old clip that I got of you on our Instagram. And somebody keep commenting, talking about we don't like her. I said, who are you? I don't even know who you are. Y'all keep commenting on our Instagram like I care. All right. Now, let's get back to Mr. Like Damn, all right? They said here that he was the on-site commander. And remember, he went around talking about he was the general. I was a general. Y'all know nothing about that. They say here, who obtained the firearm and ordered The retaliation against Tupac and Marion Suge Knight following a fight involving Davis's nephew Orlando Anderson at the MGM Grand earlier that night. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours following closing arguments before returning with a unanimous guilty verdict. One of the reasons why, you guys know, because if you guys know historically, even with the old throwback OG site like Rotten.com or something like that, they used to have photos of Tupac's autopsy up there. I know when I was a kid, I clicked on it to look at it because, people kept saying he was dead, he was alive. So I clicked on it and people was like, oh man, that's crazy. That was about the only autopsy photos we had ever seen of Tupac until this case. They had a lot more photos. The blurred out images that you all saw, the jury saw the uncensored version. And they showed the different angles, the back of the head, all this other type of stuff too, by the way. So it only took them 3 hours to get Mr. Like Damn up out of here. It says here, core evidence. The prosecution's case relied heavily on Davis's own recorded interviews, media appearances, and his 2019 memoir, Compton Street Legend. My bad. I'm sorry about that. It says here where he repeatedly placed himself inside the white Cadillac from which the gunshots were fired. Now, y'all know damn well he was motivated, or people influenced him. He was motivated to do the same thing O.J. Simpson's ass did when O.J. needed the money. If I had done it. You spend all that money to try to convince people that you didn't do it, O.J.'s dumbass, and then you write a book, If I Had Done It. All right? So the defense strategy, Davis's defense argued that, y'all seen Davis's lawyer? Bro, didn't he look raggedy, folks? Y'all seen his lawyer? God damn, I said, yo, where'd they hire this biker gang bitch from?
Well, I see why a lot of people don't make any money in hip hop. Why they have to come to the independent scene and compete, because, just a lot of these dudes are dumb.
Like, damn.
They damn. Like, y'all keep killing the talent. Or trying to undercut the talent because you say, I'm trying to give the deal that the white man gives.
I gotta get money too.
And then in 2026, y'all be like, man, why there no money in hip hop?
They had him breakdancing inside his cell. Like, damn.
Because of stupid shit like this.
Oh, man, I'm just saying, I'm cold blooded, man. I thought Drake was colder than Tupac. That's what I thought. They got me breakdancing in my cell. All right, so let's go ahead on, man. And boy, I think I watched maybe the first 3 days of it. The first 3 days, I think, but each of it, and yeah, man, those are classics. You guys should download those. I can't wait till they come out on DVD. Hard media, support hard media. All right, so the defense strategy, Davis's defense argued that his self-incriminating accounts over the years were exaggerated or fictionalized for entertainment and financial gain, highlighting the lack.
A lot.
Oh, they really believe that. All right, so they continued on, he says, or fictionalized for entertainment and financial gain, highlighting the lack of physical DNA or fingerprint evidence directly linking him to the weapon or vehicle. Also, Keefe D's defense lawyer, his strategy was garbage. He really was trying to put it on one detective, and the detective was the one that messed all of this up. So surely you can't believe anything he says, right? It says here, next steps, facing the possibility of life in prison, Davis remains in custody awaiting formal sentencing and has indicated plans to appeal the conviction once sentenced. All right? Because he was like, damn. Now, y'all know how it is with the feds, right? They kind of let you put some slack on your own rope, realistically. In some cases, they've let people go up to 20 years if they're not helping with the situation. But, they let you hang yourself. Also, shouts out to Mr. T.
Super chat. What's up?
It says, when you have diarrhea of the mouth, you're always bound to talk your way into some shit. The D in Keefe D stands for dummy.
You big dummy.
You big dummy. I think this is I was talking with somebody last night, and we did have a conversation, and they're tied into the same spaces. I think it's kaputs on gangster rap. I think it's a rap on it, niggas.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm like, damn.
This is what hip hop is, man. It's
hip
about
hop is gangster.
It's about self snitching.
Yeah,
it's
niggas,
about killing talent.
Nah.
It's about sucking white and Jewish men's dick.
Nah, man.
It's about
rap on gangster rap.
Even people who are not involved in gangbanging, they got to follow the no snitch culture.
Nah, niggas, it's a rap on gangster rap. Y'all gonna pay attention to it. All y'all complaining because y'all about to see the square niggas come outside and dancing probably. All right, but realistically, no, niggas, it's a rap on gangster rap. It's what I tried to educate niggas in 2024 and 2025 when they were talking about Atlanta this, Atlanta that, and what's up with Atlanta. I says, motherfucker, a goddamn Rico wave hit the city. The fuck you talking about? What you mean it about Future and it hit? Lil Baby ain't rapping the same. 4PF, niggas. A Rico wave hit the city.
A Rico wave
what you
hit
talking about?
LA, Atlanta, Chicago.
And bro, it hit New York, LA, Atlanta, Chicago. You think we lying? Diddy, doors got kicked in. Atlanta, Young Thug, 4PF. Chicago, Lil Durk. LA, we got Big U. Like the fuck are y'all talking about? Cause y'all listen to some random street niggas that was unimportant in their crews. Now that they got to get some loans out for some microphones, they're trying to tell you what's going on and dictating in hip hop. They're telling you that, oh, well, niggas just ain't rapping. No, motherfuckers, the feds are outside.
And they're broke criminals.
Let's be real.
They're broke criminals
it's a rap.
Who are subservient to Bad TV, the Black Effect, whatever fucking platform you could think of from the industry, and Adam 22, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's a great point. I don't know why people be listening to desperate criminals on microphones either, because they're desperate on the microphone for a reason, to the point where some of them are incriminating themselves or they're incriminating each other. Like, even, no offense, but like B team, A team, like, I mean, I don't know when people are going to get really tired of this nonsense, because it really is nonsense.
Well, listen, let's get real to it. I'm going to be clear about this, because I didn't heard so many damn idiots talking. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you right, Sid. Yes, Pooh Shiesty. They got Memphis. You get what I'm saying? They got Memphis. So I want people to understand. No, not Rico Wade, but no, rest in peace to Rico Wade. No, a Rico Wave. All right? And that's good, because all of the white hipsters and all of the white investors, all of the Scooter Brauns, all of the Scooter Braun looking boys that have been backing a lot of these startups with these record labels and companies, they intentionally, once they got a taste of Chirac, and we're talking about the likes of Chief Keefe all the way up to Ashley Bobby Smurda, right? And all of them boys and Rods and all of that. They went on a gangster resurgence spree. So when niggas be like this, here they go. Well, because gangster rap has always been here. Now, in some eras, has it been better than others artistically? Yes. Yes. All right?
That's for damn sure. That's why.
All right? In some eras.
That's why people tolerated it.
Yeah.
To your point, because at least you
can tolerate doggy style.
You had some good albums, even by people who are affiliated, but you had some really good albums by Snoop, by Ice Cube, by other people. But at this time around, like
it's garbage.
The gangster genre is just a bunch of niggas on microphones talking about their crimes, and then being arrogant at the same time that they're not going to get arrested.
Well, it's a bunch of niggas talking off beat and then talking to no beat on podcasts. Yeah, nigga. Yeah. What up, cuz? Gorilla Cuz. Yeah, man. The nigga that got Draco. Shit, nigga. We both were fucking the same bitch. I looked over at that nigga while we were both fucking about. I was like, damn, you did kill Draco. You my nigga.
Niggas from Dallas on microphones talking about who they killed. LA talking about who they killed.
Nigga, wrap this shit
Chicago
up.
talking about who they killed.
Wrap this shit up, nigga.
I mean, at some point in time, Atlanta talk about who they killed.
Nigga.
It gets boring.
So I want to be clear because you got to think about it. And record labels, they ain't going to touch this shit. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. Y'all don't want to go independent. Niggas like, oh yeah, we about to get into some gang. Nigga, the last era of gangster rap that motherfuckers even cared about was the drill niggas. And that shit lasted 15 years. That's it. Everybody coming outside thinking they about to check everybody. The record labels, we already know, we didn't heard the conversations. They don't want to touch this shit. Because every time they touch one of you little niggas, y'all pop up with RICO charges.
And also, private equity firms are moving forward as well. They run hip hop.
Yes.
And y'all can say, this is not a new conversation with us. We've been talking about this for years. Y'all heard Granville call in, have great conversations with us about private equity firms as well. And again, I will remind people, for people who didn't hear our blackout streams, there's a lot of white dumb criminals as well. We talked about this before. Government picks the winners and losers. A lot of the dumb white criminals keeps getting safety nets from the U.S. government. I'm not just speaking on, dumb criminals that happen to be black in hip hop. You have a lot of dumb people who snitch on it themselves. It's just that Epstein, for example, he was very flagrant out in the open. If everybody was even listening to our 2015 commentary on him, and he was already a convicted pedophile when dumb white crackers in Hollywood kept hanging out with him in the tech bros, acting like they weren't going to get caught up too. So there's a lot of dumb white people in criminal as well. But since we're talking about a hip hop topic today, we're also bringing up the dumb hip hop rap criminals as well.
No, there's not going to be any coddling here, And no, absolutely, he says gangster rap has nothing to do with gangster stuff. The number one rule is silence. Well, Viewstar, I'm going to have to disagree, Shouty, man. I think it's all intermingled. The industry, the entertainment and music industry, film industry, art industry, fine arts industry, all industries that really push America, they're all gangster. They're all gangster, too, by the way.
Because Gotti wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Oh,
he was a clout chaser, too.
Yeah, John Gotti was the last real big Don for New York, and the other godfathers and consigliaries, they say, well, you shut the fuck up. You got your face in the newspaper every time. And he brought a lot of bad publicity to the mafia.
Now, one thing I will agree with Viewstar on, if this is the angle you're talking about, Viewstar, and let us know if this is what you're saying. If you're saying the real gangsters move in silence, you are right. Like the ones we never hear their name. We never hear their voice. There are a lot of big time criminals who don't have diarrhea mouth like Sam Altman or Elon Musk, because they're criminals too. There are a lot of people who do keep quiet no matter their complexion in the criminal world, and those people don't have a lot of videos made on them. And it's right, the people, Italian, white, Jew, black, Hispanic, that run their mouths all day on social media or be narcissistic like Harvey Weinstein in Hollywood and all that type of stuff, they do get swept. They do. They get swept. Also, guys, just to let y'all know, I paused for a little bit because I do have a little bit of a cold, so sorry. I'm about to drink a little bit of yerba, so my nose is a little bit stuffy.
Yes,
Prince
all right.
keep muting my mic because I keep sneezing. But anyway,
also,
the people who are quiet view, yes, they're the most dangerous.
Well,
the different groups of people that be narcissistic in Hollywood, talking on, platforms and all that. easily can go to prison.
All right, so listen. Here's the thing about it. So I want people to understand something real quick, because they remember we told y'all about like this front-facing cultural talk, and that's fine. It's cool, but it's superficial. All right, people keep looking at this rap shit superficially. Diddy got his doors kicked in 2024. They popped up with him on a RICO charge. Y'all saw what went on with Young Thug and the YSL, and then YSL Woody crashed the trial because he's like, look, at some point, I don't mess with Young Thug, but I don't know nothing. He got on stage and he put on a hell of a show that trended all over the internet. YSL Woody, he said, I know nothing, man. I know nothing. That's not the case for the Chicago niggas. All them OTF niggas are pointing at Lil Durk right now. All right? And you see what's going on with Lil Durk in Chicago right now. Okay? And you saw even with Charleston White, what did he say he wanted to trigger for Houston? A RICO charge, right? That's what he said. You see it in L.A., Big U, all right? All of that stuff that's going on in the backyard, and you still got people out there ducking too. And then Pooh Shiesty, not necessarily a RICO, but Pooh Shiesty was supposed to be one of the last contemporary drill associated type artists by way of Memphis, but he come outside to hog tie Gucci Mane up.
Well, and also I think also because these people are not being artists first, people cry about, Kendrick Lamar or some other people, but when they put the art first, that's what you're supposed to do. People who are connected to whatever they're connected to in the industry, be it Drake or Kendrick or whoever, when you actually put the music first, that's what you're supposed to do. You did have a thing where a lot of people stopped being artists first, and they just wanted to be criminals on the mic. And to that point, it's like, you do know this is a fucking art form still at the end of the fucking day. It's just the audacity to think you can go into an art form, whatever your background is, whether you're criminal, street, square, suburbs, whatever. But to think that you could I'm just going to be a criminal on the mic. Fuck the art. Fuck the music. That's the part that's just so fucking ridiculous. And then you wonder why you end up in this situation. You just got a lot of people who they're just not artists first. And honestly, them getting swept up this way is a good thing, because it's like enough of people who are just banging, whether they're from Atlanta, LA, Dallas, whatever, enough of people Chicago just banging and then just coming into hip hop just only for a flip. The reason why, even to your point, like some of the other people have lasted the way that they did, even if they are involved in some criminal activity, is because they are artists first.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of the even in gangster niggas rapping music ass. Dog, I wanna hear nothing you say, nigga. You can't even stay in pocket with the beat. You in the beat, you look like a cat chasing its tail. That's what it sounds like to me. So you got all of this. So one of the reasons why Keefe D really felt like, I can come outside, because he looked at all of the podcasts. They got gang members, associated niggas, and it's not even that you're doing that. I don't care about that, because I watched the Italian people on their podcast and then snitched on each other, talked about, when I cracked Jimmy's neck, he was a big man, but, Jimmy, he was crying and screaming, but he was a good man.
Even people
people 30 years ago people today talking about the murders they committed 50 years ago.
Yeah, people think the Italian mob is so sophisticated.
No.
Get the fuck out of here.
No.
They be snitching on each other, too, all the time. Like, even Michael Rapino with Live Nation got caught on tape giggling about scamming the audience and people, the concert goers. So a lot of these people be very narcissistic, very arrogant, chirping all the time. So yes, that's definitely an important point to make, because people be trying to make it seem like it's just a race thing, but no, there's a lot of dumb criminals, period.
Yeah, I mean,
some just get saved by the government, like how, the Trump administration has tried to, be friendly to the Live Nation and, And like you said, to the Kushner brothers, father Charles Kushner, how he got saved by the Trump administration, but Trump dumb too. He's being saved by being president.
But again, it's I'm gonna be real with y'all. Whether they're dumb or not, it's the access. And rap culture, it don't have the same access and protection. Look at this.
And losing the charisma because they're not artists first. To add to the point.
Yes. No, you're not wrong about that. Shouts out to Indy. We appreciate you so much for the $10. By the way, look, just to keep it straight to the point. When you see Sammy the Bull go on podcasts and talk, nobody in that fucking space makes anything. Sammy the Bull is not an artist. So when y'all saw the retired Italian mafia, when they went out and they started talking about who they murdered and how they murdered, nobody cared because it was a crime podcast culture. The problem that goes on in hip hop, you can have that, but what happens is in this process is when it intersects with the music, like Sin State. So Keefe D's stories and him with his jokes about breakdancing overall is not more charismatic, and it has not touched people more than Tupac's music and legacy. And the same thing goes for Notorious B.I.G. as well. Think about the nerve. Like Sammy the Bull, they knocked off or been around people getting knocked off of largely a lot of powerful Italian mafia, but also some unimportant motherfuckers that people just didn't give a shit about. Keefe D comes out here, a dead icon is on his body bag list. He thought I was about to go on tour.
No, and that's a great thing. Like, that's even the problem in hip hop right now, especially since some of them idolize, Italian mafia and all this other stuff. It's like, bro, if you're in the arts and you're B plus up, even C plus up if you know how to merchandise correctly, you should be selling products that isn't pink cocaine. Diddy was not talented. Come on now. He a fashionista, I'll give him that. He knows what designers, the Diddy DeVille Black Dracula outfit was nice. Outside of that, though, Diddy wasn't doing anything, which is one of the reasons why Clive Davis and the rest of them elevated him. Mickey Howard said Atlantic Records elevated him over real artists. Why? Because they didn't want real artists to be able to sustain on art. They wanted to degrade music genres, not just in hip-hop, R&B, and so on and so forth. Rock and roll dead right now. They wanted to destroy music and just elevate people who were criminals first. This is very important. People in the music industry, period, who were criminal first before they were artists. So that keeps the drug trafficking market happening in the music industry. Of course, it happens in the movie industry as well, but you saw what happened with Hayden. But keeping like what you saw with the Beatles when George talked about how his dentist put LSD in his coffee and he didn't even know it. But the whole point is, you see the consequences of that, right? When you have people who are criminals first running the middle management of the music industry instead of people who are at the very least artists first. So what Prince and I are saying, yeah, you do have a bunch of people because they have no talent. All they can do is sit on podcasts and tell on themselves about their crimes, hoping to get money until the day they end up in prison.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of times when you're talking about hip hop adjacent shit, it just lacks imagination and creativity. Like, I don't have nigga, if you want to talk about your street shit and do your shit or talk about whatever your history is, who gives a fuck? Do your thing. The problem is when people go around and trying to hall monitor and police everybody else. Y'all know I don't give a fuck about that shit. I never did, nigga. All right, you can. I ain't get pimped out by no micro penis. Okay, And now, I mean, that's even because it's one thing when like Suge Knight hanging niggas out the window. He's a big ass nigga. All the mob Pyru niggas showing up. It's another thing when people like now when you look back at Diddy and you like, damn. So it was a micro penis
Prince,
the whole time.
Don't forget Ray J said that he could have been lying though, but who knows?
He said he was supposed to be dead.
Ray J said Suge was sticking butter bars up people's butts.
He still did business with
That's
them.
what Ray J claimed.
That's what I'm trying to figure
now
out.
you are right that Ray J is a notorious liar. He does lie a lot. So I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't know if they are putting handlebars on niggas or not.
But I mean,
right,
that's what he claimed with Suge Knight.
But all I'm saying is that there's so many people like now. Boy, y'all gonna really look back. Some of y'all are laughing right now, but man, this shit is so goofy. There's nothing I can respect about these niggas. Even in person, when I was a little teenage boy, I used to say, buddy, what? That's who's running the show? Sometimes y'all, when y'all get into these entertainment spaces and you move everybody out, because sometimes the realer people be in the front on the ground doing the body work, doing the body count because they really believe in the tribalism. They believe in the street. But then once they plug you in to the higher up and you get in the room and everybody moves, and it's like, it's this little small insecure fry ass person. You like, that's who's running the show? Somebody that's scared, they self-hating, they colorist, they got issues with their mama and their daddy. It's all type of crazy stuff. So that's who's really running the show.
No, I mean that's the important thing about it. Like, and look, the music industry has been dying, not just hip hop. It's been dying because y'all chose who y'all want to choose. Y'all still choose people who are not talented, and then you cry about it. And then you don't even have smart criminals. Diddy was a sugar baby. It wasn't like he was a hardcore criminal making y'all segueing into like niggas owning sports teams. Okay, y'all owning NFL teams because of Diddy, despite how disgusting he is. Y'all owning NBA teams. Y'all getting that bank money, that crypto money. Okay, well then he's still a piece of shit, but I get why y'all feel he's important because Diddy, he's connecting y'all to major deals. Y'all, there's something getting done. What the fuck y'all was just fucking and getting high. and then and allegedly Diddy was your connect to get high and to get fucked. And to get like maybe little slave deals from Jews and whites in the industry, if that's the type of criminals y'all want to say free Diddy, if that's the type of criminals y'all fuck with, have at it. But that's why y'all are in the positions that y'all are in.
No, this is a great point. Listen, y'all, I'm gonna get back to it, but I just think a lot of these niggas was malicious hippies, and Diddy was an alpha cuck. Let's wrap this up. Because when we talk about the 1970s and the drug-ola scandal, CBS Records fired its president, Clive Davis, for alleged misuse of corporate funds. Now, I want y'all to think about the laundromat with this, all right? They fired him for CBS. This was in 1973, May. Now, listen to this. It says, though his dismissed initially involved personal expense accounting, it sparked widespread federal scrutiny into record label finances. Because of Clive Davis, the Fed said, you know what? Let's investigate everybody, right? So it says here, in federal investigation, a federal grand jury in Newark, New Jersey, shouts out to our New Jersey folk, alongside investigations by the Los Angeles District Attorney, examined allegations that major record companies were supplying illicit drugs to radio stations and artists to secure radio play. I'll give you an example. There is a rumor, an industry myth, that Jimi Hendrix was murdered, right? There's also this notion that going back to the days of the late, great Billie Holiday, that record labels and record execs and managers have been drugging artists to make sure they sign away their likeness, their rights. They never understand their contracts. Basically, slavery.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why, is the interesting thing is about how these warehouses prints work. Elon goes into the criminal world. He's birthed because his father's a criminal, but he comes into the criminal world. He gets welfare by the U.S. government. He's worth trillions of dollars. Sam Altman, OpenAI wasn't making no fucking money. Allegedly, he stole that technology. And for right now, he's on top, but we'll see what happens because he is going against someone who actually has intelligence when you're talking about the CEO and owner of NVIDIA. You do see the difference of where you land, right? A lot of these white artists, black artists, Hispanic artists in the music industry landed in a coffin, no matter how talented they were with a lot of the drug trafficking. Some artists made it out, white, black, whatever. I mean, Quincy Jones did very well for himself before he ended up dead. Paul McCartney, he's seemingly doing okay. But the majority of them and their peers end up being prostituted, ended up dead, ended up with bad drug habits. And also, Prince is talking about also a time where we talk about really exceptionally talented people too. We're not even talking about some of these bums right now who are just criminal first, or bums right now who just, they have zero talent. I'm not even talking about people who are selling out their talent. I'm talking about people who just have no talent, right? We're talking about an era where there was a lot of amazing people, and yet they were still a part of the drug trafficking ring. And yes, they were given drugs. And remember, as we said before, most of your people who come into the industry were people who did not do drugs. At most, maybe some weed. You go into the industry clean, you come out dirty. You come out with a cocaine habit. You come out with a crack habit, a meth habit, whatever the habit is. It's because the whole infrastructure is criminal. So your agent may be a criminal. Your manager may be a criminal. They give you your doctors. Your dentist may be a fucking criminal, as you saw with George from the Beatles, with the LSD being put in his coffee in without his knowledge that he wrote in his book. So you saw what happened to Eve. She went to an industry party. Thankfully, Janet Jackson was her saving grace in that moment, and someone put something in her drink. She talked about it on CBS, and Janet Jackson escorted her out and made sure she didn't get sexually violated. But this is a very prevalent thing. I know we're a political hip-hop, media platform, but what you see in hip-hop, the only reason why it seems like it's on steroids is simply because a lot of rappers run their mouth, and especially because now you have a lot of people who are criminals first on the microphones, not artists first. So it seems like it's more prevalent, but it's equal. That's why do you think rock got taken out? First of all, the people who created rock and roll music got gate kept out. So gatekeepers said, get rid of the niggas who created the musical genre. And then for some of the white people who were talented copycats, a lot of them were still getting trafficked and put on drugs. So they had drug overdose. Many of them, the rock bands, some of them even got blackmailed because they was sleeping with underage girls. And so blackmailed, drug overdose, deaths as well. And again, it only seems like it's more prevalent in hip-hop only because you have a bunch of criminal first people running their mouth who aren't artists first in recent time. But believe us, it's definitely not regulated just to hip-hop, and it's not more prevalent in hip-hop. It's across all, a lot of music genres.
No, you're right about that. So again, there was a federal investigation that was triggered across the nation, and I'm just using this as an example with Clive Davis because this ties all into this where we come at to like damn Keefe D, right? And yes, somebody brought it up while Sin was talking. Somebody did bring it up that allegedly that Clive Davis did have a fall guy. All right, and I believe the guy's name was David Winshaw. So
we talked about that.
Yeah, we did say.
No, yeah, you're right. That was the fall guy.
David Winshaw, the director and artist of relations at Columbia Records. So yeah, that's all they was just reminding us. That's what it was, and with that being the case,
oh, you say the rest of it too. We talked about like what I'm glad they brought it up in the chat game. Remember that Clive Davis gave him a handsome reward. After that, he was able to get like ownership and all this other stuff when he came out of prison.
Stuff that Keefe D didn't get. Do y'all get what we're saying here? Like I'm not trying to go all over the place because I don't want people to lose it. I'm just trying to keep it straight to the point. It's just to highlight. This is what Sin is talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Is to highlight you guys don't have that real estate. And you got to think about it. Hip hop is 50 years old. So when hip hop, when you have all these old niggas come out on the microphone talking about, man, what it was like back in the 90s and the late 80s. Okay, you had more real estate, you had more infrastructure, and people were still squandering. Which is why you're left with podcasters having to fight AI now.
And podcasters having independent podcasters fighting industry podcasters. And just the point, it's just very simple. I just think as criminals, y'all your ambitions are just pretty damn bad. Like the fact that Diddy is missed in the industry and they saying free Diddy. Even when he was on Earn Your Leisure, he said, I can't do nothing. When he was like, they won't let me in. Again, so all the niggas in the industry who sold their soul and ass to Diddy, you sold your soul and your ass to someone who can't even get you, again, ownership of an NFL team, ownership of an NBA team.
Well, you know what? Also saying just
can't get you a partnership or ownership in any type of valuable cryptocurrency or blockchain, right? And this is the point that we're saying. Like even when you bring up Keefe D, so y'all just running around, you're killing people for free. You're assassins for free, assassins for hire for free. You're doing orgies and trafficking for grunt money. And on top of that, your middleman that connects y'all to other syndicates not getting y'all nothing.
Also, with David Winshaw, just to put this in proper context, right, with his organizations where, okay, so David Winshaw as artist and as director of artist relations, Winshaw was tasked with taking care of talent, arranging traveling, throwing industry parties. Throwing industry parties, and he reportedly disguised off-the-book expenses, including payment for drugs, hospitality, and favors by falsifying invoices and routing through corporate accounting systems, right? Implicating Clive Davis when federal investigators, when federal investigators and CBS audited Winshaw, he pointed upward, revealing the corporate funds were also being used to cover high-profile personal expenses for CBS Record Group President Clive Davis, including apartment renovations and bar mitzvahs as well. All right, so the fallout, CBS fires Clive Davis immediately in May of 1973 and sued him over the expense account padding, though Davis was hit with tax evasion charges later on. He was never convicted of drug payola and famously bounced back to launch Arista Records in 1974. Now, that's the real estate that they're typically working with. Okay, and this is why I've always said, and Sin did a great job on the blackout stream that she had last night. It's going to be on our Patreon exclusively. But this is why when we started off, we said early on to a lot of niggas that were millennials, that's cool. You can like your favorite rapper, but I don't think you should curtail, your whole brand and anything that you're doing because of them. Because again, if we're talking about 50 years of hip hop, and I'd say institutionally, hip hop really had been functioning very well for 30 years. Even if you want to get into its most highly commercialized era, which is the early 2000s, that's why Nelly gave that whole concept of competition of the charts, talking about he was competing with Jay, 50, Ja, Eminem, and all this other stuff, and all this whole trickle down effect. For the better part of it, though, a lot of people did waste time, and and there was no history. And I want to hear what Sin got to say, because there's no history in understanding how music culture does. Like, there was a period where jazz was the center of the conversation, and then it's moved to the side because the youth, particularly black folks, they come up with something new every time. All of the genres developed by young black folks, to keep that in mind too, in perspective. When you talk about American music, it's all young black people, young jazz musicians, young soul singers. That's what was really the development of a lot of these genres. The same thing with hip hop. And for some reason, through Sean John, Diddy, the rockwear clothing, that whole era, Fat, Russell Simmons.
Everybody who
they
started,
felt like they was going to be able to kind of keep this thing going for a long time. They barely survived the ringtone era.
So they just, okay. You had a lot of black people who weren't criminals, and some that were, who were artists first and very talented. They couldn't start up record labels because they were gate-kept out by the U.S. government. So criminal European groups started the music industry, but they did not create modern music. They didn't create rock or none of that, but they created the industry, right? The music industry. That's why Motown was praised so much with Barry. When you go into hip hop, it's just the same format. Okay, hip hop is created. You have scammers like Sylvia. You then have guys who sold drugs and things like that. Like, okay, so you got Jay-Z, Dame Dash, and Biggs. They come together. You have Diddy, who come from a family of criminals. His father and mom. Okay, he gets Bad Boy. You have Suge Knight, who he's a Pyru or something like that, right?
Yeah, Mob. Yeah.
All right, Mob Pyru, right? He creates Death Row Records with Harry O.
Yeah.
And
the backing of Harry O.
Right, the backing of Harry O. Again, this is not new because remember, just so people can understand the structure, Italians and Italian Jews,
they do the same shit.
And Jews created and got first dib on creating the music industry.
And the entertainment industry, where they got first dibs on creating Hollywood too, by way of the West, Las Vegas, Nevada, and California.
And they were all criminals. These weren't straight-laced people. Same thing happened when black people finally got into the industry part. Even if you're talking about hip-hop, a lot of them were criminals. So nobody's kicking their back in because of that. The problem is that the Italian and Jews and all of them, they didn't really understand hip-hop like that. They were already infatuated and in love with jazz, right? They didn't really understand hip-hop like that. This is why, Birdman got a great deal. Birdman and Slim got a great deal. Master P got a great deal. Suge Knight got a great deal. And they had a head start because these white guys, and they're like, throw some chain there because, the blacks, they seem to keep doing some shit in music, whatever. And then the major profits started to come in with these rap labels, and then also with the street clothing lines like Cross Colors and Fubu and all that. So that was the time for these guys to partner up with each other. Like what you see, like even UMG partner up with their rivals, they in the law, they sue a AI company, now they're in partnership with an AI company, like that type of shit, right? From rivals to partners. What happened? What happened was, when it came to Jay Prince and Birdman and Suge Knight and Diddy and all these other guys, like, their egos and rivalry and competition with each other was so tribalistic that many of them wasn't even thinking into the future. Now, some claim some of them were. They alleged that Suge and Jay Prince and
Irv Gotti,
Irv Gotti wanted to possibly do something, but
a distribution.
they a distribution thing, and they said someone snitched on them. So there is a possibility that that happens because you do have criminals that undercut other criminals.
Well, remember Gene Deal reported on, also just to be clear, said on Gene Deal reported on Art of Dialogue that he said he knows for a fact that it was actually Diddy.
Yes, now at first everyone said it was Jay-Z. I mean, it could be, I don't know. But Gene Deal said
it was
Diddy and not Jay-Z. That's what Gene Deal claimed.
Yeah, that's what Gene says.
So because of that, and I'll be fair, maybe, Jay Prince and Irv Gotti and Suge was going to do that.
Need to come together.
Now, some people say it was like a union. Some people say it was distribution. Some people say it was more about publishing. Whatever they were doing.
All of their offices got raided within a week of each other.
Right. So now fast forward into the future. It's not about just debauchery because a lot of these Jewish and white execs be selling children and be pedos. It's just the fact that a lot of the black people who were criminals in the music industry didn't take advantage of
nothing.
They didn't take advantage of surprise, meaning like, okay, if people in the market think that, oh, your shit not gonna make money, and it ends up making a lot of money, you then don't continue to be on that person's plantation, especially when you got really good deals. You start to create something separate and independent from, again, if I sound weird, my nose is stuffed up, independent from a UMG, from a Sony, from a Warner, because they underestimated you. They saw for the where jazz is and where it was going back in the day. They saw with the rock, they understood the whole pop and all that, but they did not understand hip hop. That was their time to really break out, but they just didn't do it. And allegedly, some tried but got snitched on.
Actually, it's to be fair, a lot of them did try, and a lot of them, what happened is that you had people that were privileged and specialized or highlighted to be seen as ambassadors culturally, and a lot of them ended up launching campaigns against innovative thinkers. And again, it's not just a shit on the whole era. I want to be clear about that. That's not what we're doing here. But when you catch people by surprise, you're able to make your money, now they're looking at you like, oh, you guys really make money. That wasn't your job to go after and completely destroy each other. Reality of it is that the nigga mob killed their Frank Sinatras on the East and the West. Both Biggie and Tupac were that. We're literally talking about people that was able to terraform record sales. They were able to come up with different concepts. We already know where Tupac looked like he was heading, at least artistically. So because of the level of raggedness, immaturity, social psychological issues, structures, families, things of that nature, there's a lot of reasons why a lot of times you can activate the Willie Lynch chip and a lot of these soldiers in the industry.
That's a great point. Like, Will Smith comes from hip hop, and you saw how he made studios crazy amount of money,
billions of dollars.
Looking at hip hop, you looking at Queen Latifah, who has done amazing,
made studios
when it comes to films and
billions of dollars.
She's an amazing Renaissance woman, right? And Tupac, Renaissance man, where he can act, he can rap, stage performance and all that.
Script writing.
So you had all these talented young black men and women that you can make a lot of money with, and it's just simply that like that what Diddy mindset when he said, well, I'm doing what the white man did. Why you gotta be a copycat retard? Go do something different. If you're competitive, but these white guys and Jewish guys have an advantage, and the advantage is they have a good relationship with the U.S. government. Black people was hot and cold with the U.S. government. then you're gonna have to rely even more on your talent and giving them at least good deals where you could keep in house. Like, okay, you see how directors do, like how as a director Ryan Coogler keeps going with Michael B. Jordan, and he has a few other people he keep bringing back, or how Christopher Nolan he keeps bringing back Leonardo DiCaprio, or he'll bring back some of the same actors and actresses for the film. He keeps like rotating about 10 people. Matt Damon, like he keeps the same 10 actors, actresses, great talent that he just keeps recycling, right? Any of these record label guys who are black could have done something unique like that and expanded their power in that way, since again you may have a disadvantage when it comes to intelligence agencies and also with the government. They didn't do that. They didn't be like, yo, I'm gonna keep in-house talent, we're gonna take care of them, and we're gonna keep flipping these products and
No.
keep advancing. Because back then, you had it. You know, all those record labels, they had multiple talented people. Yeah, like a power circle, exactly, a power circle where, you know, and then also start partnering with the black fashion houses, like with Cross Colors and Fubu. You know,
You saw a little bit of that. You saw a little bit of that, you know, and no, you know, you're not wrong about that. Only thing, I look, I'm not trying to be funny, you all. There is something slow about hip hop culture. We can attribute racism, genderism. We can talk about white supremacy. People can talk about the $40 million slave, but there is a reason. Genuinely, most regular people do not want to see any part of rap culture making its way to their business format. Again, when it was time to compete, they chose to kill or have their two figureheads killed off on both coasts. That's why a lot of times when I see some of the old school players on the West and the East crying about new niggas today and it just ain't real like it used to be, I say, no, it is. It's the same energy. You guys got to understand cultural karmic cycles too. By the way, that's sin blowing on those, y'all. So excuse that. Y'all got to understand cultural karmic cycles. Why would you say, okay, I think drill is stupid? Because I saw all of these grand, wonderful think pieces from people that were talking about our era was so prestige. Drill culture is a grand cultural consequence of Death Row and Bad Boy. What are you talking about? I want people to understand that. Like, there's something a little bit off there. Think about, like Sin brings up concerning other spaces, because it doesn't just have to do with our skin being black. Look at Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. What isn't going to be overtly proliferated in spaces? Imagine if Ryan Coogler was running with Michael B. Jordan, and Michael B. Jordan talking about, I'm about to fuck Dame some Idris up the next time I see him, right? These types of things, because there's a cultural class dynamic. It's not saying these people are inherently better behind the scenes, but we're talking about what was literally proliferated in the space of rap. You know, when right now with this, even just to say this part, saying with this, where we are with drill aspect and drill offshoots, trap offshoots too, by the way. So when I brought up at the beginning of the stream, everybody crying about Atlanta or Chicago or New York, even Memphis, and what's going on, and they talking about it's rap, what's going on with rap. When you have, just to tell you how much overt the criminal hood has been spreaded everywhere, overtly like a cancer, the idea that state RICOs and federal RICOs has literally halted record labels right now should show you just how much of it has infested every part of the art.
Yeah, I mean, Diddy was too interested in drugs and prostitution. I mean, he had enough in-house talent to have them not be in poverty. You had Faith Evans.
Yeah.
You had Mary J. Blige. You had Biggie. You had Mace.
He had an incredible roster.
He had an incredible roster. He had 112. These are people that you could have kept going with to make sure well, Mary J. Blige she's known everywhere, but you could have made sure that these people, 10 people, 15 people, globally known around the world, um, and you could have kept going with that, movies, films, music, and not in some slavery type shit. Uh, let's keep it a buck. Like these record labels and Bad Boy could have had his own in-house studio eventually with films and production and in-house actors and actresses that eventually became so big that they could have $10 million a film.
He did that after damn near all the artists died and left the label.
And the same thing with even with Death Row Records. Tupac is talented. They had so many other talented people on there. Same thing with films and all this other stuff. For example, the West Coast has a lot of great directors over there. John Singleton and all that. So it's like the world has a lot of evil people in it. We get it. And there's some situations of evil where it's hard to get out, where you can't give nobody just simple advice, like the children who are being sexually assaulted and destroyed in Gaza, for example. But when you're going up against tyranny or people who have biases against you, but you have something to work with, you're supposed to take that and run with it, not destroy your own foundation and then be crying why the fuck you in prison. They deserve to be in prison, to me. Suge Knight, Diddy, the rest of them. You deserve to be in prison because as criminals and lawbreakers, y'all didn't do nothing with it. That's the whole point. You didn't do anything to even balance out your evil deeds with at least building a fucking empire or institution. All you did, and the immaturity of like just even running around dissing other people all day. Like, look, I mean, are there other YouTube platforms who get on our fucking nerves? Probably. I'm not gonna sit up here and fucking argue with you all day. I got other shit to do. Prince got other shit to do. Y'all in the chat got shit to do. And the fact that with all this talent, I'm gonna be honest. I wanna have who has time to care about what some other niggas say when I got music. I got music to do with Faith and Biggie and Mace and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also, just to say, you all right? So here's the thing, and also, Society says here. He says, y'all call out everything but the real problem, the CIA. And you know what? And also, shouts out to Cruel Guy Says Get Better Sin. So we appreciate you so much. But I want to shouts out to Society, man. I appreciate you so much. Y'all know how I am. I appreciate the conflict. But it's just a difference in minds. And here's a beautiful thing about a Society. Tupac's mother was a Black Panther. She raised him on understanding everything about the CIA. He still got lost in nigger wars. He still ended up in a campaign for the nigger kingdom, as he told Sway, to be honest with you. So my honest opinion in this, when you have an era, you got to remember when you're talking about that particular class, ladies and gentlemen, their bus stop from Jim Crow was a lot shorter than ours. And our bus stop from Jim Crow is not that far ago. So when people say, shouts out to Society, but player, when you say things like that, Tupac's mama was a Black Panther. Everything that Tupac participated in and did damn near with Death Row went against the creed and oath of most of what went on with the Black Panther Party. And they still got set up with infights and things of that nature. And even if you're talking about, just to say this part here.
Irv Gotti survived the feds, but he still was beefing with Ashanti for no reason.
No, I want you to understand this because, see, this is why I keep saying, like, you can't be a champion and a victim at the same time. That's the thing that I always see in hip-hop specifically. They're the underdog and they're the top nigga. It's kind of like what I said about Jay-Z. Bro, it's cool. You want to be the nigga Carnegie Hall. That's perfectly fine. But when people, even poor whites, confront your ass and you happen to be black and they say eat the rich, or they call you a capitalist and you take it as a slight, and they did, bro, you cannot be a titan of industry and you are oppressed and a victim at the same time. Which one is it? Because the public, the average working class citizen can't, no matter who you are, most working class people, poor working class people, they cannot even pull up in Jay-Z's neighborhood. And that's why I'm saying this mindset of like, okay, I always see it as a way to absolve grown men of responsibility and duty. Okay, everybody else, even some of the black folks we see, when it comes to other sets, industries, things of that nature, we always asking a Jewish exec to have a due diligence of responsibility. We're always asking a white or demanding white people to be better people and show responsibility. The minute you say, hey, black men who predominantly dominate the hip hop industry, we got to be clear about that. All right, a few girls come out rapping about their hair and box, and people go crazy. But even if you say, well, hey, black man, can you at least practice some responsibility? Oh, nah, man, what y'all got to do is talk about the CIA. Y'all got to talk about the FBI. It ain't us. But then the next breath, we run shit, nigga. We run shit. So,
and the people who usually get caught up by the CIA and the feds first are actually the people who are activists and real activists, not fake corporate activists. And then two, I don't think the CIA is all in one like that at all when it came to hip hop. No. And the reason why is because Irv Gotti beat the RICO charge and he was still crying and beefing with Ashanti. And you can't say it was because of any white person. Ashanti is your premier fucking artist. Yeah. She is, at the time, she was selling crazy, in-house talent. She could write, she could sing. Y'all made great music together. Ain't no CIA had shit to do with Irv Gotti being a slow, R.I.P., when it came to Ashanti.
And what he did with her music.
Ashanti, Ja Rule, and all these other people, their in-house talent. While you dealing with the Fed situation in the RICO, okay, you got 50 Cent big ass out here for revenge. All right, fine, whatever. You still have Ashanti though. She gets you into that R&B pop lane. Still put out music with her. Still keep her cooking. No, he went to war with Ashanti. So it's just about ego. Like a lot of these guys, they too busy having sex with the talent, too busy beefing with the talent. And that's why I don't see no point of dealing with the criminal enterprise of even in the black order. They talk about, black criminals. I don't deal with them either. I don't deal with the Jewish criminals. I don't deal with the white criminals. I don't deal with the black criminals. Because the white and Jewish criminals are already racist by default. The black criminals, they're going to beef with you as the talent and be like, I'm going to give you the same deal the Jews and the white gave you. So it's like, then there's no point. I see how y'all operate. And I don't see no fucking successful black criminal right now that isn't in music or entertainment beefing with the fucking talent. They always beefing with talent. They always crying about talent. And it's like, bro, you beat a RICO case and you beefing with a fucking woman, Ashanti, instead of fucking making more music with her. And he's not the only one. Like, they all do that shit, that goofy shit, like beefing over. They beef over the dumbest shit.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Irv Gotti talked more about Ashanti than the United States government. Chris Gotti had to slide out here on the B side of interviews and talk about what Universal did. The reason why so many millennials got lost in this conversation about UMG, Drake, and all this other shit is because Irv Gotti did not use his platform to publicly speak more about what Universal and the United States government did with Murder Inc. Instead, he complained about Ashanti.
That would have been a dope film. That would have
about
been
that.
a dope movie.
I want to say that. I'm gonna say that.
If he made a movie about it and all that, a TV show.
So I'm just tell y'all one more time. No, Sin, you're right about that. I want y'all to think about it because it's tied into all this Keefe D shit. It's the same shit. This man said, and I know the man's dead, so he ain't here to speak for anything. Maybe Chris Gotti will say something, but I've seen a lot of Chris Gotti interviews over the years. He's always pretty much stayed consistent, but he didn't have the visibility Irv Gotti did. Bro, you could have just simply broke down, because Chris Gotti breaks this down, that Universal Records and the United States government colluded together. That should have been talked about more than anything with Ashanti or Nelly. That's how you could help hip hop, nigga.
Year 50, Ashanti, yo, bitch. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? No, I don't. I don't get what you're saying at all. Like, y'all niggas immature. Nothing more dangerous than immature criminals, too. Like, I don't even think we need to really further go into in depth to even explain this. Just don't think outside the box. Like, just because white and Jewish people be drugging their talent, don't mean I gotta drug mine. And also, like, just the idea, like, some of the talent also in the 90s was on like some pro-black mindset anyway. So Tupac and them would have stayed with y'all anyway. Just pay them well. Like, so, like, even like, I gotta drug them or I gotta put them in slave contracts to make sure they don't go somewhere else. Like, nah, niggas, y'all dumb. Some of y'all already had people in the 90s just based off of them believing in pro-black shit. So you didn't even have to just go to these extremes.
I think people, look, you guys go back and look at what went on with, it all tied into the same shit. It tied into The Source and Double XL. Because The Source put out them tapes with Eminem, the Moon Cricket tapes, and I think Benzino, he held a press conference at the time, and he said it was a big thing. I'm gonna see if I can put it up on the screen. Benzino, it was a big thing.
No, I know, but the press conference.
Yeah, it was a press conference. I think there was some Muslims there. I remember as a kid watching it. I was like, wait, what's going on? Eminem, Moon Crickets.
It was like they about to go to Congress.
Yeah.
They did. Like,
yeah, it was a big thing. And
he had the braids, and then he had the Polish Jew. What's his name again?
Dave Mays.
He had Dave Mays.
Dave Mays. It was a moment in hip hop that if that shit would have happened today, that shit would have stopped the earth. It was a moment in hip hop, and Benzino came out with these. He said, and we discovered these tapes where a white boy is calling black women and black people out of their names, and he needs to answer to this. And next thing you know, Double XL got fattened up with ads.
Jimmy Iovine.
Jimmy Iovine and Interscope, and damn near every month you saw an Interscope artist, an Interscope associate on the front cover of Double XL, and you watched The Source ads leave, or it went on a Slim Fast diet. And so that was all tied in with the Murder Inc., the United States government, and Universal. And Chris Gotti recently talked about, basically what he said is that Universal took our funding and they shifted it around, and he said basically they put it into our competitors.
But it was Jew versus Jew too.
You get what I'm saying?
You had the Polish Jew versus the Italian Jew.
Yeah.
So you had Jimmy Iovine versus, what's the other guy name again?
And Dave Mays was small. He ain't had nothing. He was damn near a wigger.
Benzino
from Boston.
He probably like, yo, I got a Jew.
Yeah.
So, I got a Polish Jew. We in here. I got my own in-house power.
Yeah. Jimmy said, "Nah, not really, not really."
And it was an interesting thing.
Look, I mean, it's really left up to Chris Gotti. because he would be the like one of the key figures that is not 50 Cent, that's not tied to Interscope. I think he should make a documentary or something. My personal honest opinion about that. Because when I read about what Chris Gotti wrote and what exactly happened, yeah, I told Sin, I said the same shit's going on today. It's with social media. Social media is all involved in it now.
Yeah, because some people even think like, oh, just because I got a Jew or a white guy as a partner is going to succeed. That's not true. Those Jewish people sometimes be getting rid of people in their own syndicate. Ask Harvey Weinstein, concrete face.
Well, it's even in the reverse. White people, Jewish people, sometimes they think when they get a black person about to make money. And sometimes the shit is just a flop.
Well,
all right.
And he did at first was making money when he was with half black guy.
So
until they went up against Eminem and Interscope, and that
was a big moment.
Jimmy Iovine.
Look, y'all can do all this biased fanfare shit. All you doing is cheating the history. Because also when you're doing this subverting, rewriting history, your history can be rewritten too. Y'all seen the dynamics of what went on with Lil Kim and Nicki Minaj, and then Nicki Minaj saying they trying to erase me. I was like, well, that's how cultural karma works.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like think about Oprah and Jay and all the people who thought that Concrete Face would never fall because he a Jew. Yo, he a Jew. We got our Jew Connect. Yo, Concrete Face. Mm-hmm. He producing films. Mm-hmm. He producing documentaries from us. We good. And then he ends up in Rikers Island. Talk about his crooked brack. And there's a worse person than me. Then he can't even snitch on Jeffrey Epstein because he got his neck broken. I mean, I'm sorry, suicide. He suicide, right? But yeah, even people thinking that somebody's just all powerful, even because they're white or Jewish or whatever. I don't even like that mindset from some people in our community because that'll lead you through a trap as well. Like,
I mean, they do it all the way around, and the public does it when they see people have money. People, trust millionaires or said millionaires. People trust people in uniform, so. That's their fault for not having wisdom. You go into an industry, and I've seen it. I've had niggas tell me they put somebody on because they was mixed. I said, but they suck.
Oh yeah, that's why
I'm gonna be real with you. Like that's a mindset. Sim, we had a conversation real quick, and we was talking about like it was Ray Daniels, and we was like, why is this the takes he has because of that, right? But
we said he has bad takes because he wasn't, he
talks like an executive. But that is how the executives talk.
They have bad takes all the time.
Yeah, the executives was like, look, what did Jimmy Iovine tell the niggas in G Unit? Yo, I put them all together because they all been shot.
Yeah, they would have been the shoddy Beatles, but also
Young Buck's been shot, Lloyd Banks been shot, 50 Cent's been shot a lot of times, and the game has been shot. I think it'll work.
OC said Jimmy Iovine's from Staten Island. Also, Innovator J has a super chat. Damn, I forgot what I was about to say.
Says, I'm glad that y'all brought up the Jew on Jew beef. The slow niggas hear y'all talk about black people problem and think we are the only ones that go against each other. No, that's not the truth.
Thank you.
That's not the case.
That's what I was going to talk about, actually. I remember. But go ahead.
Your point. Go ahead.
That's what I was gonna bring up. That's the point I forgot. Even with Mark Rubin, when he was like black hate on hate, shut up. Like you have in Israel, they beating up Hasidic Jews who if they don't have an issue with the Palestinians, the people of Gaza or the people of the West Bank, they get beat up by Bibi. Like I didn't see on the news, Bibi was kicking in the back of Hasidic Jews. Or even with Big Nose, what's his name? Dershowitz, where he was like, he hates self-loathing Jews. And he said the stupid Jews in New York, this is what he said. He said the stupid Jews in New York don't know what they're voting for. And then also, just because Jeffrey Epstein was Jewish, he was provided protection at first, yes. But he started fucking up and got sloppy, and so he got gone. And concrete face Harvey Weinstein, and it's not just them.
Killer Croc face.
Yeah, like Prince and I know there are a lot of Jewish people behind bars or who got in trouble with their syndicates that people don't talk about because they only think about just black people. Just like even with whites, but they still do get more leeway though, because the U.S. government is on their side. So not all of them. Sometimes some of them, when they end up in prison, that's it. But there are some of them, like with the Trump administration, right? And what Prince brought up with Charles Kushner, how he was able to get out of prison because of the Trump administration.
No. You're right about that. And speaking of that, Sin, and keep this in mind, just to be clear, all right? When we talking about, because the reason why we bring it up, because in the entertainment industry, I've heard plenty of stories of rappers, black business women and men dumping their very talented and gifted black lawyer for a Jewish lawyer. Jimmy Iovine is Italian, but even the notion, quote unquote, of a white Italian man, where people like Diddy valued his insight more than Diddy trusted his own, especially concerning Dirty Money, who had hits already on the charts. But he took in what they said. And where can I fault the blame but the person that chooses to become the butler?
And you said it yourself that the Dirty Money was the last time, because them two women were talented.
Hey man, they were giving
it
was a fire album.
Diddy some good songs.
That was his last.
Good morning.
Yeah, that was Diddy's last musical high. It ain't got nothing to do with Young Miami. Young Miami and City Girls and JT, they their own niggas. But for Diddy, his last musical high was Dirty Money. Because one day, I was like, yo, where did Dirty Money go? And I had to do some research, and I found out that they had a conversation. And they called the girls ugly. And then Dawn Richards, she comes out herself, and she talks about how the industry dealt with her. But listen, if we talking about buyouts and beefs, right, and what you saw with Interscope, Universal, the United States government, and Murder, Inc., and even what you're seeing today, the only difference is we have social media personalities out there that they're like, I'm a part of the fight too. Fine, you can do that. But the reality is captains of industries, including the entertainment industry, have been doing the same thing for eons. All right. J.P. Morgan was a very aggressive, notorious competitor. Every building that you see today that they have a man's name on the building, that guy was the most ferocious. Okay? Whether you're talking about the Halls, the DuPonts, their chief patriarchs were typically the most ferocious. Right.
And some people be like, well, J.P. Morgan killed a lot of white people. Yeah, but black people are not in a position for you to do that to your own people. Like, get the fuck out of here, you know.
It is
like, oh, J.P. Morgan killed a lot of crackers to get on top. So
I killed just like the whites.
As a black man or woman, I'm going to kill just as many black people to get on top. Bro, you can't always use the same type of structure that somebody else used to get on fucking top. Sometimes you got to try something a little bit different.
Well, let's get into it, Sid. Show you some of the dirty tactics that J.P. Morgan used on his competitors. So the babies today, the Sam Altmans and the Elon Musk, they're just following tradition, all right? Again, people are going to mimic what they think is going to be the victory, right? That's just what it is. And if they can get away with it, humans will try. Just because you see people cooperating right now don't mean it ain't in them.
They all try to be like...
As a rule of thumb, if people can get away with it, they'll do it.
They're trying to be like Killmonger. I kill my own people in Iraq.
Yeah.
And Afghanistan. And
put all that chicken pox on him.
It's
You
like,
talking about this is a notch for every black person I kill. I said, so wait a minute.
why we get killed because of what the CIA crackers and Africans in Wakanda did?
So when you tell me
Your black American mother got killed in the jail cell.
so nigga, you got coon knots. He said, for every one of my people that I killed, there's a knot on my chest. I said, bro, so this is a Sambo. And people was like, I love Killmonger. Killmonger real. Also,
he gonna kill his black girlfriend.
oh man, they still ain't catch on to that. That's when I was like, all right. Cause I was rocking with Killmonger. I was rocking with Killmonger.
I was rocking with him until he killed his.
Shot the girl at the plane.
Cause he was skillful enough to kill the cracker without killing
He
her.
acting like he couldn't shoot.
He acted like he could curve the bullet.
You couldn't curve it like Angelina Jolie?
Like they have in movies now.
But I thought you killed in Iraq.
In movies now, they curve.
All you gotta do
is
is curve it. When you shoot the gun, make sure you flick it.
and flick the bullet.
When he shot, I said, all right, he the villain.
But I will be fair though. T'Chaka was the worst of them all. He
Yeah.
He was the
Glass
worst of them
eye.
all. You know, killing his brother and then leaving his nephew
Had
dead.
Chief Charleston White in there. From the beginning, I told you, I said, oh no, T'Chaka's the villain, niggas. But he was a bad patriarch. You saw how he set off that cultural karma?
I couldn't stand his crooked eye.
Bro, you murked your brother? Like, you couldn't even arrest him?
Damn.
We can't even have tribunals in Wakanda? Then he gonna leave the body there.
He gonna leave.
He gonna leave the body there. So
He gonna leave the dead body there. Leave his nephew there.
I will become Killmonger too.
Then he had the child mother left him in the prison because the child mother was American, black American. So he gonna leave the child mother in prison, kill his own brother, and leave the little boy there.
So,
Seeing a spaceship fly out.
because you know they probably called the little nigga crazy. What you mean spaceships?
I'm telling y'all, I saw it.
All right, let's send this little nigga to the outhouse.
We got another super chat.
Shells at the Innovator J says, we do got a lot of dumb criminals though. He says it's crazy that both Keefe D and Lil Durk shooters both thought they were going to get $1 million. You ain't worth $1 million.
You're
you
not.
will crash out.
I'm not gonna
Y'all,
lie.
like, you ain't worth $1 million. You'll crash out. Your talent is that you crash out.
No, I agree.
Nigga.
I think that I'm not even irritated with the record criminal bosses not paying the stupid assassins because, like Prince said, you're a dumb crash out. You don't think. That's the whole point of what they use you for because you are stupid. But I do have a problem with how these crime bosses have dealt with black talent, black American talent. Oh, because the Italian Jew. Man, shut up. That's why y'all empires crumbled because y'all stupid and y'all fucking over talent. You supposed to be making sneaker deals, brand deals, creating your own in-house products with talent. Not saying I'm gonna do what the fuck the Italian Jews do.
Well, to keep it in tradition, I'll just say this too. True says Dolph Killers thought he was going to get $100,000. How? Okay, this is my only thing about the killing process, and I'm not telling you what I've come across growing up, but traditionally, there's people that say I've gotten half up front and half on the back end. How do y'all go out and free sample kill people? Yeah, I killed him, man. So it was a taste. That's a taste of what I could do. So what you want me to kill next? Well, I want you to go after Dolph. So you kill Dolph, you don't get paid. And in every scenario, these people get and it's not even as tight as the other mafias because there is a thing that's not nothing new. I want to be clear. They have sent crash outs and other groups out, but they've also killed them too. The idea that niggas don't pay them.
Epstein.
Yeah, niggas don't pay these assassins and then leave them to live and they go on podcasts.
Right.
And then they start talking and then it goes back to the head nigga. The head nigga now in court fighting for his life.
It's just stupid all around.
So you don't get rid of the assassin that you sent out to be the crash out like they did with other mafias. Then you let the nigga run around and go on Adam 22. They go on Vlad. They all on Art of Dialogue. They damn near about to hit the radio
I'm
station.
gonna tell you this, man. I'm gonna tell you this, cause I saw in the nigga's eyes, man. You know, what's the YG? And I saw him pull down the mask and he smirked when he
What?
did the last stat. Yeah, nigga, yeah.
They didn't get rid of you?
Nah, nigga, nah. I be out there all the time, nigga.
That's how they are. So it's like, yo, how vicious are you
He
niggas?
be like,
Y'all don't even murk the hitman.
They're more vicious to women. They like, he like, you're about to get a book deal. And I'm like, but also, you know what's even worse? Before I forget this thought, if it's true about what Yo Gotti did, Yo Gotti is an idiot. Competition is good in music and art. So, allegedly getting Young Dolph killed because he's talented. You know how many talented black people they are in fucking rap, nigga? Go get somebody else, nigga. This is how ridiculous shit is. Y'all both could have been doing your own thing in Tennessee. Young Dolph didn't need to be killed. It's just ego. Bro could have had some other talented ass nigga he could have signed.
It's the same shit
and move forward with.
It's the same shit with Nipsey. You know, it's just the same shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. So let's talk about it. J.P. Morgan, for struggling or competing railroad lines into reorganization by buying up controlling shares during financial panics, restructuring their debt, and removing non-compliant executive leadership. J.P. Morgan would show up on the scene. He says, whoever don't cooperate is getting shot. Some of the execs said, hey, I don't fuck with you. He says, you can go. Consolidation and trust creation. Systemically bought out major rivals to assemble massive anti-competitive monopolies across vital industries, most notably purchasing Andrew Carnegie's steel operation to form U.S. Steel. All right. He placed trusted partners, executives, and bank representatives on the boards of directors of competing companies, effectively controlling entire industries from within and eliminating price wars. Again, he sent his spies out. This is why I said the world is a network of gangsters. All right? So,
and to your point, though, there's a clean way to do that in modern times, though, where, you know, you can put people you trust into executive positions to expand out, but they also got to be talented, though. You see some white people's enterprises crumbling right now because of the nepotism. Remember, the definition of nepotism is when you put somebody in power because family, relations, friends, whatever, and that they're not skilled. If they're skilled, then it's not nepotism. But yeah, he put in generals that were skilled in what they do, and he entrusted them.
Morgan put generals onto the boards of his competitors. All right? Onto the board of his competitors. All right? I want y'all to think about that. Because this is where, like, I mean, all of this, like, strategy shit that I usually see with a lot of the rap space, it ain't there. There was nothing neurologically unique to J.P. Morgan, other than he played the game and he played the game to win.
Oh no, that's
There's nothing neurologically special about him.
No. The important part is not a brainless ruthlessness.
That's what they try to sell you.
It's the scheming part where he's like, I'm gonna put my talented friends in positions of power with virals. I pretend I don't know them and pretend it's just business. That's the where his intelligence did lie and being able to come up with that scheme. If you notice, a lot of the people who were just ruthless for the sake of being ruthless, their enterprises even back then, it did not survive.
It's usually
And then,
cultural suicide.
yeah, and then even with the Vanderbilts, let's just say, okay, networking skills, but eventually just a bunch of nepo babies. So they had offsprings and kids and shit and put people in positions of power and they suck.
Yeah.
So that's another thing too, because you see rappers doing that. They put like their kid not talented, they put them in a position of power. You know, for example, one of the reasons why you sometimes have like a long gospel line of singers, you know, like even when you're talking about Whitney Houston family, they're talented as fuck. That's why Whitney gifted, you know, with the skills. She's not a nepo baby. She's one of the greatest voices of all time, right? And that's just using an example just for when it comes to our artistic capabilities. So if you put on your friends and people you trust and they're talented, or maybe you provide them money to go back to school to get the skills, like what you saw what LeBron did with some of his friends. Because I do believe you definitely do need trust first. Like that's why Jay-Z keep the same people around him that he trusts, or you see that with Drake, or you see that with Kendrick and other people. They try to keep, you know, their circle small with the people that they could trust the most. But at the same time, if there's trust without skill, or if there's people being put into position of power without skill, we've seen whole nations and companies crash. And then of course one of the most famous ones with the Vanderbilt family, we saw their wealth and all that just nosedive because a bunch of nepos. So, you know, and this is also even going to the United States government, is why the United States government is suffering right now, because you do got a lot of people in key positions of power who they're just not smart and they're not good. And you see China and all of them, they happy. China said, yes, attack DEI more.
Yeah,
So get rid of diverse talent more.
That helps the nation.
Because that helps China.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and this is why, like I always tell you guys, you know, anytime you start seeing particularly any mindset, especially from the white boys that show up and they're talking about they want to remove groups out of positions, even just middle class positions of white collar jobs in America, look for the market to drop. Look for money to be lost. Anytime, because you've seen it in hip hop. People have been deindustrializing hip hop, not only just by way of other groups that people keep talking about, but we can start with black folks in hip hop. You've been deindustrializing hip hop since you said you don't want to hear bitches on the microphone. Since you said you don't want to hear the West Coast rappers or a diversity of West Coast rappers. Since you said you don't want to hear a diversity of East Coast or Dirty South rappers. That's deindustrializing an industry. When they tell you, when you come out and say, we don't want to hear no more Arrested Development. We don't want to hear no more niggas rapping like this person or that person. That's deindustrializing your culture.
But what's slick about this, though, white people in the United States do this all the time with the Great Reset. The only danger of them doing this right now is now you have real competitors like China out in the global market. So what do I mean by that? The Great Reset is where they kick all the talented black people. You know, you saw it happening before. And then now we have a lot of other groups in the United States too. So the Great Reset is they have all these skilled labor, these skilled groups of people. They kick them out with whatever fallacy, low IQ lies and all that other shit. They get into power. The government nosedives. But white people in power, they gain more real estate. They buy everything back up. And right when it looked like everything's about to implode, then they hire skilled labor again. And then those black people or those Mexican people or whatever, they're like, I gotta prove myself to Whitey. I'm gonna go into their companies and because they said we was DEI. There was like 10 years where we were kicked out. Now we're back and we're gonna work hard and prove to them that we're not low IQ. They already fucking know, dummies. This is a real estate grab. It's a reset. So then now you go in there, you build this shit back up, you give it foundation, and then it recycles again.
Well, it's the same thing that they do that right now with even in the rap space. They have the niggas that destroy each other, and then they're looking to have land grab with all of this AI merging shit that's happening.
Now, what's the danger though with this particular reset? Okay, well, other times when they were doing that reset, China wasn't in a position of power. India wasn't an emerging power. You didn't have all these other countries that were coming up. While they're doing their scammy shit again with this great reset, the danger is while you're doing this great reset, what if China now, who's a major player, and Russia, who's been in the game for a while, and other countries, what if they take this opportunity to push you down permanently, and they continue to go up while you're doing this great reset to try to be cute against, in particular, I'm gonna say black people, because even though they're doing it against other groups of people, they're marketing it through blackness. So I'm gonna use black people. So while you're trying to market against black Americans as low IQ, or even other foreign black people like what Jason Arday, even in the UK, because they're branching out to the UK doing this shit.
Dr. Jason.
Dr. Jason. While they're doing all of this,
right?
They still run the risk of this time it not working, because you do have emerging markets around the world.
Yeah, specifically.
That are accelerating extremely fast. And I also will say this too, because I'm actually about to leave the stream, and I'm gonna let Prince continue on, because my nose. But the danger of this is the arrogance, not understanding that there's intelligence everywhere, and ruthless behavior can only work for so far. One thing China did use to its advantage is pretending to be subservient. Chinese people, they went to all the Ivy League schools in the Western world and all that. Many of them came back to China to build up. And white dudes were, cocky and all this other shit. But China just built up their own shit. They built up their own people. They built up their own company. Even when they be like, well, China, they just re-engineer what we do in the United States. And white people, a lot of them just steal other people's shit. So you think in a race to try to not drown as a country, when you have people trying to dominate you that people care about, first of all, the Chinese people, they already know that a lot of the white corporations steal. They kill professors from MIT. They steal from black engineers and innovators, people in the medical field. So Sam Altman, all them, the nonprofits, they steal, right? So China, they re-engineer, they figure it out, and then they start creating their own things, like what we even talk about with even in the race to AI, where China is doing a pretty damn good job in advancements with that right now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you got competitors right now who the United States has just assumed they were better than, and now these emerging competitors, it's going to be interesting to see what happens during this great reset.
Yeah, so look, seeing what she's saying is correct. They have, one of the reasons why you've been going back to the Great Reset. It's also, you have to keep in mind, if you have a key political figure by way of the West, America, that could be a compromised asset for foreign influence, which has been an allegation. And, look, it looked like it to me. But whatever, though, because he's white and you guys was promised that black people were going to lose more power, y'all played with the energy. All right. And so while they're trying to do this great reset, newsflash, most of even this whole thing about young white men, there's a lot of unskilled young white men. So even if you're removing skilled black people or skilled groups in general out of these positions, the young white men online, a lot of them are struggling with their Twitch accounts and their passwords. Because even right now, they've done a survey, particularly with that set, that they've shown that they are cognitively behind for the first time the previous generation. Bless you. So when you see Alex Karp out here, and Alex Karp is out here pimping. When he says young white males, little white boys with daddy issues be like, huh? You're paying attention to me? Because people always, oh, it's black men, y'all, the black women, black men, y'all had that. All this whole fucking country got mommy and daddy issues. That's why they put so much stock into these cultural and political liars. All right? They do that all the time. People like, well, you know, when they hear Jay-Z say, when a little Peasley-headed boy from Brooklyn be like, yo, Jay-Z kind of like a father to me. See, only black men. That's not true. White boys do it all the time. There was grown white men that said they thought Rush Limbaugh was a father to them. There's white men in the Oval Office right now. They treat Trump. They call Trump daddy. They said daddy's home. A grown white man was playing Drake's Daddy Home when Trump pulled up into the White House. So this country got mommy and daddy issues. Now, while like Sin brought up, while they're trying to bring up this grand reset, what you saying, Sin? Which one? Daddy's Home. No, what's the? Oh, Poppy's Home is the Drake one. Yeah. Okay. They played whatever they played, whatever one of them, Drake or Usher. Pick your poison. Somebody, a grown white man, when Trump pulled up, was playing either one of those records. So the country got daddy and mommy issues. And remember, all a nation is a network of families. If you poison the family, you weaken the nation. Okay? You keep hanging up, oh, it's about the man, or weaken the woman. No, you weaken both. You make them hate each other. And you make them, the only thing they agree on with men that hate women and women that hate men, the only thing they agree on is they both hate children. So you got to let the hate spread. So when Sin is talking about the Great Reset, the other science behind it, a lot of these other countries, particularly with China, they're having a grand progress. They're in their progression era. So while you have these compromised assets in politics through foreign entities, you guys are smart enough to name them, right? There's a deindustrialization of the nation that's taking place, and this has been stated on record. It's just that groomed white racist individuals just assumed it would be the blacks. What you mean I lost my job? Huh? So right now you have investments in the Indo-Pacific. China, Japan, India, even dealing with Australia. People are going to be moving on forward. While Trump is conveniently playing iso ball. You guys remember the bad era of Kobe Bryant when he was being a ball hog and the team had a horrible seasonal record? Yeah, and when Shaq was fat, burrito bean built Shaq. Don't worry, I got you, Brandy Kane. Burrito bean built Shaq. So America is looking like that right now. And were there smarter people that say, hey, don't do this? It don't matter. That's why we say culture is important. Culture can snuff out the wise sages that are in the room. We talk about it all the time because when we talk about culture, we only think about like, oh, culture is good. You know, it's us. We the culture. We got it. It's good. It's good. It's good. No, that's not always the case. Culture is a tool. It's a cult. Anywhere I can trigger cult-like following, cult-like personalities, erect them to the public, charismatic speakers, individuals that can galvanize the people to move how I want them to move. Y'all remember that Puerto Rican in Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson? So I point to this end of the block, man. 15 niggas die. right? That's what your culture provides, which is why Donald Trump and Barack Obama were perfect. Because in order to get Trump, you need an Obama. I remember my brother, he said, man, what do you think about Obama? I said, hey, it's going to be about who comes after him. Because this shit got to swing somewhere else. That's what culture is. It's just a pendulum, too. So, like Sin brought up, yes, while they're trying to do this grand reset, because really there's a struggle here. There's no real agenda because at the end of the day, a lot of Americans are still losing their jobs. A lot of people are getting pushed out of markets. But there is a grand grift happening since what we could argue 2020, where you had a wealth acquisition. Remember with COVID, a wave of new millionaires were completely wiped out. I want y'all to understand that. It wasn't just the black ones. Nobody talks about that. During COVID, a wave of newly introduced millionaires were completely wiped out.
Also, I know I said I was gonna dip, and I am, but the reset too. What they think is white and Jewish eugenicists think that they're gonna dump undesirable groups, and they think they're gonna steal China's talent. So they think, oh, okay, I'm gonna steal the talent from China, steal the talent from India, pay them cheaply, and all that, and we can convince China and India to come over here and get key positions in the United States, and that's gonna help with the boom. The problem is that I think it's going to be harder for the United States government to try to steal talent from China and India, because even look at Laura Loomer, who they sent over to India. She had all these things where she said Indian people stink and they're low IQ and they're dumb. But now that she needs them, when she was over to India, and they brought it up in their news, they're like, didn't you say we were low IQ and we were stinky and all this other stuff? She said, I am so sorry for all the comments I said in the past, that I was ill-informed, blah, 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 blah. So there's already a little bit of an issue even with that. And then also, China as a country is already very advanced. It's not perfect, no country is. But it's already a very advanced country. So what are you going to be giving the talent of talented people in China who are in the tech world and stuff? What are you going to give them that are going to make them come over to the United States? Especially, too, where you're still going to, because you painted the doctrine, too, because people forget this, before they, in the 90s, switched up and said, like, okay, Asians are a high IQ. Which they did not say in the 80s, in the 70s, and the 60s, and 50s, 40s, and all that. They said they were low IQ. But all of a sudden, okay, magically they're high IQ now. There are still some of these groups who still get discriminated against, and they don't feel comfortable. You saw the split even with the Trump administration. Half of the people in the Trump administration said, we don't want no, this is what they said. We don't want no stinky Indians, and we don't want Chinese. We have our own white talent.
Well, the reason why they did all of that,
forgetting that, no, you don't. Actually, I'm not saying there are no talented white Americans. There's a lot of talented Americans, but there's not as many talented white Americans as you think, because you've stolen from the smart ones, because they stole from smart white Americans too, and they put in the universities. Like we y'all saw the biggest college admission scandal with Blue Varsity, was it was a bunch of dumb white kids from wealthy white parents who
would
putting
go
them
on to become y'all executives
in Ivy League schools. Yeah. You've already, look at Pete. Pete Hegseth is low IQ, so they've already pushed a lot of the dumb white people into positions of power. So when you're saying, oh no, half of Trump administration said, oh no, we have our own talent, where they at?
Well, no, great points. All right, no, Sin brings up great points. And just to say this real quick, sorry about that, y'all. I should have cut the mic down. But anyway, look, Pete Hegseth is a great example. Now, y'all know he's going to run for president, right? Y'all do know that, right? He's going to run for president, and the Democrats can say what they want to say. They're going to continue to crash and knock around like the Three Stooges that they are, because that's what they're paid to be. Right now, their biggest political leader is Hassan Piker. Now, while they're talking about Laura Loomer talking about ghetto black women and all this other dumb shit, right? Hassan Piker also went off in his scream, are any more black radicals? I got off of Twitter, this, that, and third. All right, with his soccer mom haircut, but that is their biggest political champion right now. The one thing you've been able to see, both sides agree on anti-blackness. Now, where is it supposed to be this grand reset when you are focused on infighting yourself? That's why the other countries right now, including China and Russia, yes, do they have subsidiaries in Iran? Do they have backing and support? Yes. But also the reason why they're not getting involved, why interrupt when your enemy is making a mistake? America involved itself in an expensive war with Iran. You think Russia and China, they're like, well, we got to stop it? So wait a minute, y'all have a president that also brought in a foreigner, a South African foreigner, who went in and deconstructed parts of the United States government. Then your president launches this war in Iran, and you're laying off very skilled, valuable government workers, and then you're getting rid of 5-star generals. Why would I interrupt this blessing? In the name of whoever they pray to. Why would they get involved with anything right now? America is publicly whooping its own ass right now. You got Pete Hegseth coming out saying, I'm declaring war on black veterans. Bro, why would I interrupt any of that? What we gonna do, we gonna do this Indo-Pacific trade like we've been doing. All right, Australia, you want some of this? We got you. People looking for this grand blowout, like they really gonna strap up to beat an enemy that's already whooping its own ass with a potential foreign asset.
Also,
Then,
even not being even how we're treating our neighbors, how even the United States, how they treat Canadians, and even if we're talking about even Mexico, and then like you said, I mean, how you talk about going to war with Iran, but you going to war against Black Americans in their homeland, and some of the people who are in the Trump administration are fresh off the boat crackers. Like, okay, your family been here for 2 generations, bitch, but not as long as our families. Our families have been here longer, and you're going to war with us. Like, then on top of that, land masses that are right there connected to us as our neighbors. You know, you're going into this shitty behavior with them instead of networking and expanding in technology and stuff with them. You like getting into like Mandingo fights. Like, again, they try to make it seem like, oh, like you said, black hate on hate, but don't white men don't be cooperative with each other.
well, hold on, Sam.
Especially in recent time.
We want to break this down because the reason why I liken President Trump to what you've seen with the class renovation of the likes of J.P. Morgan and these captains of industries, because that's just what you got going on right now. Listen to this. In May of 2025, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth directed substantial reductions to the military's top brass under a less generals, more GIs policy. This is his policy, but that was handed to him because he's got to carry these orders out. But it's not by way of what you think. Think about, you got all of these private black equity firms that are outside. What do you think is going on with America right now? So 20% cut to 4-star ranks. Hexit ordered the elimination of 20% of the active duty military 44 authorized 4-star general and admiral positions. Remember, he first comes onto the scene talking about getting rid of a top general because basically the guy was black. I want you guys to think about this. Because, see, the left and the right will have you try to look at this shit like it's normal, and you're going to be looking cross-eyed. You got to straighten your eyes out.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes, right? 10% cut to lower flag ranks. The administration directed a 10% reduction across roughly 800 other general and flag officer positions as well, 1, 2, and 3-star ranks. All right. So you have a situation here where you have, with the backing of billionaires, keep that in mind, with the backing of billionaires, you have Peter Thiel, you got the Kushner brothers, all right? You got Elon Musk, who, when he came in with Doge, what was he announced as a shadow president, right? This is Pluto and Aquarius. So a lot of the hidden power will come to the surface. Be More talks about this on the Dummies Cauldron. Y'all can subscribe to her channel and her Patreon. Be More Sin will be having a live stream on Friday. But you got to understand what you're looking at right now. Meanwhile, you saw Peter Thiel. What did he say? Well, I'm going to Argentina. And you hear how the Argentinian president talked about Thiel in Israel. Right? You have poor whites online still going around calling black people out of their names because that's the doggy bone that keeps them motivated.
Also, I'm glad you talked about that doggy bone because it's really important. Elon Musk is, at the end of the day, he's still a pimp. When you look at Doge, it was low IQ white dudes, bro culture. They admitted they didn't know what they were doing, but they thought that they were good for the position because they were white. And they believe in, oh, we got to get rid of DEI. Bro, you're a lick. You're dumb. That's why we always tell people, if you don't have a raw skill, let's say raw skill, which means you have potential or you're actually an expert at it, and somebody gives you a position, they're giving you a position for one or two reasons. You're a sacrifice or you're easy to control because you don't know what you're doing. So white people, like even Pete, you're given this position because you're dumb. But you're like, I earned it. It's merit-based. You're merit-based what? I also think that black people should not be getting involved in the military. I think black people should just leave the military. Let them fend for themselves. Let them fail. I mean, they're already failing. You got the Trump administration starving people in the U.S. military. I think you should just leave white know-it-alls with high IQs. Go run the country. You got it. Well, you smarter than everybody else, like you said, you know. Go do your thing. And I think that a lot of black Americans should just, you know, show their expertise to people who actually appreciate the skill sets that we have.
No, well, guess what, Sid? Just to put this out here real quick. And here's the thing, the reason why this J.P. Morgan dynamic is because I want to bring this back to that. All right. Now, when I bring up J.P. Morgan, I'm not saying Trump is J.P. Morgan. We're not even talking about that. Trump is doing exactly what Trump has always been doing. All right. You know, and the general public wanted to vote him in because they watch The Apprentice. Let's just be real, and that's why I said celebrity is grooming. These are grooming ambassadors because at any point in time they can be activated in politics based on their popularity and their charm and their charisma no matter how it's projected, it can be used to subjugate a population under a spell of witchcraft. And that's exactly what Trump did when he came out. People fell up under the spell and the witchcraft of the boss on The Apprentice, you're fired. When Trump first said to one of his ops at CPAC, Jed Bush, you're fired, everybody ate it up. Yo, Trump, yo, he a nigga, man. That's witchcraft, nigga. Got your ass. And people are like, well, how could they fall for Trump? They've been getting your ass since Trump been partying with Raekwon and niggas from the Wu-Tang and Snoop Dogg. They already been got y'all. Just like at any point in time, they can activate one of these niggas now that y'all love, and they can run in a position in a party, and it can eventually be used to sign laws against you. But you love them. So Carnegie had his stuff bought out, of course, by his business op, J.P. Morgan. And Morgan placed trusted partners, executives, and bank representatives on boards of directors, of competing companies, effectively controlling entire industries. Now, if people do see, particularly there are a lot of people, billionaires, global billionaires, dictators, leaders, foreign ops, that really don't like America. I want to be clear about that. We have our criticism. There are things that need to be worked on in this country. But there are folks that like, I need to bring that motherfucker down. So what do? Listen to what Morgan did here. Again, I'll say it again. Placed trusted partners in key positions. Isn't that not what you're seeing right now with this administration?
No, that's an important thing what you said.
Because people keep regulating at the center of powers around Trump. But if he's a potential trusted partner placed on a competitor's board, which is the United States government, to either bring it down or to bring it under control.
But there's also a lot of unskilled people he put in that position, which is we'll see how everything materializes. But no, I don't. To your point, I don't look at other countries like enemies. I don't do that type of thing. People who I look at as problematic is if you're doing something to me. So if you're making policies against black people, you're doing something to me because I'm black. If you, that's how I look at things. I think sometimes people have to have more clarity or clearer vision. You shouldn't be so hyped to go attack people unless they're attacking you.
Well, the other side of it, just to say this, and here's the thing about it. You got to understand, guys. Of course, they're going to elevate the dumbasses. Nigga, if your team has been moving proficient for 250 years, despite what goes on, y'all got people protesting civil rights, y'all have Asian internment camps, y'all got women burning bras in the streets, y'all got debates and all this other shit. All I need to do is just slow your shit up. Remember, there are actions that Doge took that they said, as far as bureaucracy goes, it's going to take a generation and a half to try to rebuild half that shit. It's not all the time about... See, people think it's going to be sophisticated and sexy. Pete Hegseth is over the Pentagon. Why wouldn't I, if I'm a rival op, why wouldn't I want to put his boss in office so they can elevate somebody like that to fuck up the Pentagon? As you can see, America's losing traction globally right now. Retired generals are coming out. They said, Pete Hegseth, they're overtly coming out. They said, bro, he's a threat to national security. Y'all already saw him drunk texting random codes. Remember, you don't know who's working for who. I'll say that again. You don't know who's working for who. Y'all ever be around somebody and then when it's time for you to get them going for what you doing and they always keep fucking up? And then you find out that they was a hater the whole time. Well, they had their own self-vested interest. But if you're seeing this grand global fuck up, but people you're submitting to other foreign dictators or foreign presidents. You're soft on them, but you're hard on the people. You're hard on working class American citizens. You're making sure you're signing in laws questioning black people's backgrounds. You're sending these unions away. You're busting these jobs up. You're part of these black equity firms. See, people, the reason why even Rachel Maddow gets on my nerve, even with all her screams, Russia, 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 Peter Parker face. That's all she do. Russia, 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 Russia. Why aren't y'all talking about Vault? Why aren't y'all talking about the Black Rocks?
Breaking news. This is breaking news, guys. Just real quick. Bank of America VP Aaron was reportedly killed in Times Square stabbing attack on Monday, with investigators saying there's no indication she was targeted in particular. Now, this is very important to say because Bank of America recently had to pay the Jeffrey Epstein victims $32.5 million because of weird transactions, and the victim said, how did you not know trafficking was going on? We're going to even go further on this on our Patreon, so make sure y'all support us. We're 100% independent. Prince, real quick, what do you think about that? Bank of America VP dead.
What's the difference between that and the Cash App nigga getting stabbed?
Well, what do you think about, though, this happened Monday, and this was also around the time where Bank of America had to pay $72.5 million to the Jeffrey Epstein victims?
We'll see. No, that's a great point. I'm glad you broke that information. You know, what I'm going to be looking is what type of attributes are going to be tied to the killer publicly. All right. It looks like, okay, Bank of America Vice President. Bank of America Vice President Aaron Piacenti was fatally stabbed in Times Square on Monday. A second victim was injured while the knife-wielding suspect also died, according to the NYPD. All right, so, okay, I guess the individual that stabbed her has died as well.
They killed the crash out.
Well, we'll see, Sam. We will see. Yeah. No. I agree. I know what you mean by that. I'm just saying we'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it PG. We'll say that for the Patreon or something. But yeah, so they said a 32-year-old Bank of America vice president was stabbed to death in an unprovoked Times Square attack just weeks after celebrating her second wedding anniversary. Yeesh. Let's see here. Breaking news: the stabbing. Okay, so they shot her. It looks like they shot her. Oh, they got it on camera. I'm not going to show that, you all, but let me see something here. Let me mute this part so y'all don't hear this. Y'all can check it out. But I don't know. Is the lady, what is she? Is she Mexican or black? What is she? Is she Spanish? Oh, the one in the pink.
Yeah, she's not the VP.
No, not the VP. The person who she just.
Who did the stabbing?
Yeah, because the cops are on her and they put her down. It looks like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
She was talking about, yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Big ass knife.
Damn, that knife is huge. I'm sorry for the lady. I don't think that's cool going out like that. Let's see.
She was, New Jersey was fatally stabbed near the crossroads of the world.
Looked like she had two knives. What the fuck?
How she got that combat knife?
She got two knives, Sin. Yeah, no, this lady got two knives. Yeah, she got. Yeah, she got two knives. Man, you know what, man? We'll see. New York's so wild, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Well, New York City is one of the biggest financial center in the United States.
The fuck?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. This was not random.
No, she was doing the windmill with the knife. So she started walking towards the. No, she did. She had both knives and she started doing like some rotator shit and walking towards the cops. They just put her down. The hell? September 1st, the first month of September. Y'all be easy out there. Y'all take it easy out there. But you know, on the esoteric tier, you know, there was things that was broken down, and you know, that whole Pluto Aquarius and the rebellious public and power, hidden power, attacking power, power being brought to the light, power stepping forward, power
There's-
being
There's a
revealed.
lot more things that B More and I talked about, but some things we're just gonna keep to ourselves. Not everything needs to be revealed.
Yeah, she had two knives here. Just in the woman that stabbed her. Hold on, Sam. Let me cut this down before you do your thing. The woman that's okay. The woman stabbed to the man. This is damn. This is right when we got J.P. Morgan in the thumbnail. All right, it's some crazy shit. Okay. Piacenti was a vice president at Bank of America. Authorities say she was randomly attacked. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. If this was somebody that was a street vendor, I'm not trying to be funny. Not saying that their life is expendable, but when it comes to like corporate shit, hell no, man, I don't believe that. So she had a large butcher knife and like a smaller knife. That is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Yeah, dying by stabbing is very painful. All right, so they got the lady. So it looked like a Hispanic lady or like a Latino woman. So yeah, that's unfortunate for the lady. You know, don't wish that on anybody. But let's see. We're gonna see where this goes. You know, we sure that they're gonna be doing some sort of people are gonna be spending online because you know. What the economy is looking like right now, so that's what folks are going to be doing. But that's most unfortunate. But great update, Sam. Great update. You know, we're going to look more into that. But I'm going to continue on with because it's still kind of all ties into it at the end of the day. To be honest with you, hold it here. Let me get this up for y'all real quick. Let me get this up for y'all so y'all can see. All right. Yeah, a little sand in her little nose is going through it, shouted. All right, let's see what we get.
Someone called me snotty nose.
Well, I mean, they are true.
Cedric said snotty nose.
It is true, though, Sam. It is a snotty nose.
Snotty nose, but look,
hold
I'm
on.
trying.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Say it again. Your mic wasn't up all the way.
No, I said Cedric called me snotty nose. I said, look, I'm trying here.
Yeah, Sin got a co-host. She got two co-hosts, me and her nose. But no, that's all right. She's still pushing through it. Yeah. So this is the lady that was unfortunately stabbed. Vice President Erin Piacenti. I hope I'm saying her last name correctly. You know, I'm not gonna put the graphic material. Y'all know when y'all click on X, y'all gonna see the graphic material. But no, like I said, and I think, do we trust it? Absolutely not. And I do not trust the commentary that's going to come after it too. You know, because this has been as far as media goes, this has been a very exploitative era right now.
You know, on our Patreon, Prince and I are also going to talk about Texas, California, and the state of New York. Why those three states also have the most serial killers. Also, when it comes to the money, why those three states matter and are important. We're going to get into a lot of that on the Patreon, which also leads even to things like this. The Cash App guy, he got killed out there in Cali. This woman, she got killed out in New York.
Yeah, but this is the suspect right here. All right. So this is the lady. Again, Erin Piacenti was 32 years old of New York, died on Monday afternoon after being slashed by, looks like Pamela Cisneros. Oh, Cisneros Lopez. So.
Also, I just want to also remind you, too, Prince, that the 163 kids that were trafficked out in Florida by them three meth head white guys, it's not being talked about as much on mainstream media at all.
I get you. Well, you know, they're gonna be talking about DEI and all that shit. And how much they love or hate Trump. You know, anything that can get clicks and views, but the real. Yeah. So Now, y'all got to keep in mind now, because Lopez, because of her last name now, I already know what's going to happen. They're going to be talking about New York's Muslim mayor. What is he going to do about this? Yo, all this goofy shit, seeing laughing, she know I'm telling the truth. Like, bro, that's what I say. Get ready for the bullshit commentary. All right? And, yeah, it looked like she tried to lunge at the officers. Okay, so it looked like they tasered her. So she's been tasered. Okay, so well, why did they say the suspect is dead? No, it looked like because they're handcuffing her. So it looked like she's alive. So she got tasered. Nah, her little big ass got tasered. Let's see here. Let me see. Let me double check. Okay, so well, some people saying she was shot dead by the police, but they arresting her when she on the ground. We'll see. They're already liking it to the other situation with the exec. So we'll see, y'all. The victim stabbed to death in Times Square. Rampage was VP of the Bank of America. All right. Well, anyway, with that being the case, ladies and gentlemen, look, you're going to be seeing a lot of chaos, a lot of vying for power, a lot of borderline talk, and we're talking about state rights versus federal oversight. You see that's what's been going on with the United States Supreme Court, the federal Supreme Court at a federal level. And hold on one second. So anyway, that was breaking news. So that kind of derailed us a little bit here, but we're getting back on task here. We'll be wrapping this up here. The reason why I bring up, the idea of J.P. Morgan and the trusted partners, because clearly a lot of these politicians that is causing a lot of drama in all of our lives, they clearly are working for entities. We've seen Larry Fink come out. We've seen conversations surrounding Vaught and BlackRock, and even the idea of them saying that you'll own nothing and all this other stuff. And then, they canonize it in people's favorite shows like Black Mirror. So they try to make it somewhat sexy and cool and debatable and all this other stuff. But, they've been doing this since, you could argue, John F. Kennedy. Now, a lot of people say, well, John F. Kennedy was America's last great president. You got to remember there was scamming shit that went on with John F. Kennedy, even with the elections in Illinois and all this other stuff, right? So that's been going on for a long time. It's just that with JFK, his situation, he was getting an education, him and his brother, because of, as they said, they forgot to not bite the hand that fed them. Basically, the people that did the men was like, well, we got you to this position. So it was kind of like an internal situation. Now, one of the tactics J.P. Morgan was able to use successfully was financial warfare. He used immense control over Wall Street investment capital and credit lines to cut off funding for rival businesses, forcing them into bankruptcy or selling at deep discounts. Isn't that not what you're seeing today? How many of these companies or even these rivalries being forced into either bankruptcy or having to even merge with aggressive partnerships? Because, not all partnerships are equal. A lot of times there's aggressive partnering as well, right? One party may not have been as enthusiastic about it, but the other party says, give me that, I need that, right? And you seeing this being practiced with a lot of these equity groups, that are coming in and buying up a lot of real estate, consolidating too. Because even after they've turned their little small profit and the business overall of this enterprise fails, they merge it into other situations as well. I can't think of the equity group that's over like this one sector of fast food where it's like KFC, Pizza Hut. It's like all of the big ones up under this one umbrella. You're seeing it recently. You're going to be seeing that 100% in music, right? Seeing what's been going on with UMG, Warner, and some of these other companies. And even when you're talking about UDO and Suno, at some point they're going to form their large company as well. All right, and this is going to be the era of the constant merging. All right, that's what you're going to be seeing, and then destruction of powerful spaces as well. So there's going to be a lot of terraforming and reconsolidating as well, because you saw that when Trump came into power once again, and then you saw by way of Elon Musk and then the power groups that back him in equity, even within the government, how he was able to terraform the United States government. All right, predatory practices and rate cartels. J.P. Morgan formed secret agreements and cartels such as the Joint Executive Committee for Railroads to fix freight rates and undercut independent creators. I'm sorry, competitors. I misread that one. Y'all saw that? So not only was he focused on dealing with the other T-Rexes, he said, don't worry, little independent competitors, you little velociraptors, I got some for y'all asses too. All right, this is what Sid and I talk about for a long time. We say, even though you're seeing these large companies get at each other, they never take the idea of independent competitors off the market either, because this has been a long since oversight since the era of J.P. Morgan. All right, and his job was also, he made sure he drove smaller operators out of business. Okay, this is just J.P. Morgan, not even the Rockefeller patriarch who said competition is a sin. And he believed in that wholeheartedly. Competition is a sin, right? So Wall Street panic interventions, what he would do was he leveraged the economic crisis, such as the Panic of 1893 and the one of 1907, to bail out the U.S. government and key institutions in exchange for massive regulatory concessions. Don't we not have the same type of energies? Elon Musk and all of the big boys, even Jensen popping up, they also are looking for regulatory concessions. You're even seeing it in the Food and Drug Administration. Regulatory concessions. Remember, this is a deregulatory administration. That means some of the safety protocols that made your life somewhat tolerable is going to make stuff harder. This is why you're seeing so much of the outbreaks right now, because Trump was guaranteeing his promise on regulatory concessions. Okay? This is what Sid and I have been talking about over and over. This is how the oversights usually work with the corporations. America and USA, two different situations. One of them is a corporation, right? So regulatory concessions increased market share and immunity to further consolidate industries. So he was also guaranteed the opportunity to be able to consolidate industries moving forward. All right? This is why they're saying you are witnessing the Gilded Age 2.0. That's why a lot of times when Sid and I was saying, the poor whites thought that somehow working class blacks was getting a leg up over them. And they say, you know what? Even the vote Donald Trump, they sent all the Cubans back home, right? Vote Donald Trump, right? One of the things they was able to use, they've always been able to use black flesh as a doggy bone in this country. All right? They were going to have further grand federal oversight and the interruption of people's privacies in the 90s. And what Bush showed them was Willie Horton. And he brought up the concept, I'm talking about his dad, he brought up the concept of the welfare queen. And while there was deregulation and deregulatory oversight, they had Willie Horton and this hyperboreal welfare queen, and also the super predators, because they got to hit all of them. They hit the black men with Willie Horton, then they hit the black women with the welfare queen, and they got to get the children, the Gen X teenagers, with what they called, what did they call them? I just slipped my mind right now. But they called them predators. Oh, the little super predators. Something like that. And that's what they ran on. And so a lot of racists voted for this while inflation was happening. Remember, they were starting to complain about their mortgage then. Massive layoffs. That era is when you started having an abundance from the 70s, 80s, especially the 80s and 90s, the celebration of the Gordon Gekko era of greed, Wall Street, right, with Michael Douglas, that was celebrated culturally, right? Your job is being shipped to China. You focus on Willie Horton, Section 8 queens, and super predators. Little children, little black baby predators. The Central Park Five, who later become the Exonerated Five. Donald Trump took out ads in the New York paper. He took out ads everywhere where he could. They had the Tasha killing, right? This is nothing new. This is the same practice they've been using to run this country. When they're about to grift the public, they make everybody, including black people, focus on black folks. Overly focus on black people. Black people are the doggy bone. All right? So the same practice of J.P. Morgan has been the same practice that was instituted through the government as well. All right? With that being the case, one second, you all. All right. So, as you can see, while the grand grifters are taking action, the Black Rock groups and all this other stuff, and they buying up shit. They like, well, shit. I mean, y'all dumb. We gonna buy this shit up. We gonna pay the politicians we want, because y'all only tap dance for money anyway. Y'all only tap dance for donor money, right? Y'all saw Hakeem Jeffries all in the Epstein email, talking to Epstein about Rick Ross. Epstein wrote to other peddlers about black people are dumb. So here come a bright-skinned, bald, green-eyed nigga talking about, hey, man, what you think about Rick Ross? Epstein go right over to his other genocide individuals, his little eugenics family, eugenics peddlers. Hey, you know what? I can't wait till we get rid of black people. Y'all saw in the emails, and this is why y'all saw in the emails when they were having the conversation surrounding the Barclays. And what they were talking about was the cool blacks in hip hop, and Jay-Z was used to say he bought off the blacks, or he bought off the activists. The reason why our shit don't look like Rio right now, where everybody protesting in the street because of the stadium and all of this other shit, right? Again, dumb people in hip hop was like, this is about protecting Jay-Z. It ain't got nothing about defense or against Jay-Z. The nigga's name was being mentioned in the email. They called him a fucking butler. You didn't even talk about that. You talked about niggas that listen to Drake or them OVO Albert niggas, and y'all was like, we need to talk about this. Yo, they called this nigga a butler. And some of y'all come out of y'all sausage mouths and talking about it's time to defend Jay-Z. You ain't defending him from us. They called him a butler. The fuck we got to do with this shit? I didn't call the nigga that in the email. I can't email Epstein. Or Jay-Z. But do you see, this is what I was saying, do you see this demonic, this is a demonic circus, y'all. Bro, they were in the email saying Jay-Z bought off the activists and he works for us. And thank God that this black nigga exists so our shit don't look like Rio and Brooklyn. A fucking two-tone nigga with sausage lip get on the Breakfast Club and start talking about, what y'all talking about? Eminem be mentioning that. How many times I told y'all people don't give a fuck about Eminem? If you a rapidy rap backpacking ass motherfucker, yes, he means that much to you. But I'm not talking about his career because Eminem can't get the job done that Jay-Z was able to do with the Barclays. If they would have sent Eminem's ass out there and talking about we doing the Barclays, they would have shot at him. But this almost take your this see this the type of shit the way when we read all of this, when Sin and I read all this shit, this the type of shit that made me think like Inky and Enlil, that shit was true. I was like, you know what, maybe they did build humans to be slaves. Cause there ain't no way you gonna tell me that there's a bigger fish outside and they trying to kill everybody on the block. And I'm going to start fist fighting Moon in the house. That's what all this shit look like. You got them sending Mexicans and Cubans. They sending these motherfuckers on vacation across the nation. You got Spanish politicians in the West Coast with bad wigs talking about we getting rid of him because he down with the blacks. Another Grand Butler. They sending you and your kind on vacation. Y'all focused on black people once again. That's why the golden carrot in America is black folks. If you want to move Americans, hang up a black person and say they did it. If you're going to motivate them, send out a black person and say he got it. You can get it like he got it. You know how many country dumb white boys I done ran into? Hey, man, for real, I'm going to tell you something for real, for the truth twin. I'm going to tell you something, man. T.I. my idol. I said, he your idol. He inspired me, man, to start my business. I said, man, talk to me, light-headed motherfucker. What'd he do? Man, I'm just saying, man, you funny, man. I started a t-shirt business because I was listening to Grand Hustle, and I thought about Young Dro, how he came back from addiction, and he made it. Yo, twin, we for real on this. We got it. That's why a lot of times when you hear Sin and I talk, I'm like, bro, what's the point? No, Morgan, Carnegie, Musk, his daddy, Altman, C. Yarvin, Curtis Yarvin. Like, what are we talking about here? And so what they do, because I'm going to be winding down, what they do while all of this is taking place in the background, they put y'all under a spell to kill each other. You know, it used to be a long time ago, man, you fight over vegetation. Like, you kill somebody if they tried to step in your backyard and take vegetation off your family's land. You got people pulling up on each other because of disagreements about rap and just even about debating ideology. That's superficial. Because Bill Maher, everything about him superficial. Bill Maher, he another hoe that dances to the same billionaires. This is the era of the trillionaires now, they said. Dances the BB, they dance to all of it. DD, CC, and no whinings. So as you can see, I just wanted to highlight the practices of J.P. Morgan, how he got them names on them buildings. All right? Understand that the Trump administration is a trusted partner, and they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do, just like Barack Obama. I remember when, when you get to the mic, love. What you say? Yeah, velvet glove, iron fist. Dirty glove, rusty fist. Obama was hope, Trump was nope. White square, black square, white square. We get you high, we get you low. We get you high, we get you low. We build your hopes up so we can break them. There's an old documentary about the Army. I think it's called Build Me Up, Break Me Down. And it talks about the psychological effects that has taken place with these young cadets coming in. You know, where you build them up to have them broken down. Again, this has been going on since the beginning of time. All right? So the overall point is that you got all of these tactics. And listen, remember, J.P. Morgan, just for y'all not to get it twisted, J.P. Morgan also said, I'm not too big to pop the independent and small guys. My job is to drive them out of business too. So that's for all of the suckers that always thinking, well, you know, I'm independent. I ain't really doing much. They ain't paying attention to me. All I can do, I'm going to just try to get a piece of the nugget. That's to drive you out of business. This is why Sid and I said, and I was specifically saying, for a lot of the millennial broadcasters 10 years ago, when y'all really had the wave, you should stay on your own square because people will be looking to get you out of competition. Remember, a lot of them got shut down, so people like Two Tones and all of them, you see Mary J. Blige in the Suno videos. Dr. Dre came out and said, I support AI. So all of your broadcasters are going to do the same thing in mainstream media.
All of y'all are suckers in independent media. Y'all fucking stupid. Y'all don't know nothing about history. A lot of y'all are so fucking stupid. Y'all sucking up to these celebrity niggas. They look up to J.P. Morgan. And like Prince said, he wasn't too big to try to compete with the little guys too. In hip-hop, all these people who connected to UMG and all that, they're here to destroy the independent scene. And y'all love them. Just because they put classic albums out, even though they don't got no fucking control or power. And you got industry people trying to erase and copy off of independent people in hip-hop media. And then, some of you are going to be wondering, okay, why can't I get this or that? Well, I mean, what is there to say?
Yeah. No, she's right about that. You know, and we're gonna do some more highlighting because I got some other stuff I want to break down. I don't want to go too far into overdrive because we do have a show for tomorrow as well. But I want to highlight what the left and the right are not talking about. Trump, like Obama, like Bush, like Clinton, like Bush, like Reagan, all right? You can keep going, all you want to do. They are trusted partners. And remember, he sent his trusted partners into his competitor's house. And they either sabotaged the company or brought the company under his control. That's how he got his name on those buildings.
Also,
all right, hold on. Let me turn your mic up, see.
Yeah, all the millennial content creator stuff. Well, show me why you think he's trying to consolidate.
Hold on.
Why you think years ago it was easier for us to call it like?
Oh, say that part again. They couldn't hear you.
Charlamagne's trying to consolidate for iHeartRadio. That's why it was easy for us to call it years ago that Charlamagne and academics was going to get into it.
Yeah, we said that. We said that years ago. That shit was that was going to happen.
And that's why, like, when we're saying, like, they're not here for nothing good. They're here to consolidate. Keep saying it. They're here to consolidate hip-hop media. People they act like they don't know what the fuck we talking about. Who gives a fuck if he's black? He's here to destroy the independent scene. You looked up to him and you wasted time. It's competition.
It's competition.
Charlemagne, watch the party die, watch independent media die. Charlemagne is connected to iHeart. He's connected to conglomerates. He plays both sides between woke and awake and all this other shit. He has been subsidized for a reason. Period.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
And he's not the only one.
He's not the only one, like Sin stated, ladies and gentlemen, and we will definitely be back with more. Again, one of their many spiritual leaders right there, J.P. Morgan. There's plenty of them. We are in the Gilded Age 2.0. And remember, look how many black rappers already had came out and tried to pledge their support to these people who don't even fucking like them. They think they're disgusting. All right? And it doesn't mean that they're special. It's just the power play of the dynamics. J.B. Morgan was not playing. He really meant that shit. All right? And the same people and the institutions that have been influenced by his institution, right? His institutionhood, with the likes of, we're talking about medical, we're talking about entertainment and education, ladies and gentlemen. So expect a lot of that as well. Folks, we're going to be ending on that note. I got to get out of here, boys and girls. We hope you guys at least had a chance to enjoy yourselves, or at least get some information. Again, you know, Keefe D breakdancing in the jail cell. So we're going to see exactly what goes on there. And is he going to be making any grand deals too, by the way? You know, because, damn, somebody got to take the fall. Is it just going to be me? Not only did he not get the $1 million, but he got him some prison time. All right. And we're going to see if that opens up any dynamics concerning Biggie Smalls. All right. You guys know these two men were intrinsically linked because of what had taken place in 96, 97. It's some wild times right now. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, we love you guys so much. You can support us on Patreon too, by the way. We appreciate everybody that did show up today. We love you guys so much. Uh-oh, hold on. Go ahead.
Say bye, Moon.
Oh, now you don't want to talk.
Now you don't want to talk.
Now you don't want to talk.
Say bye.
Come on, Tuna Breath.
Say something.
Oh, listen to that, y'all. There you go, ladies and gents. And Moon said, wrap this shit up. All right, wrap this up. All right, so Baby Tuna Breath has spoken.
You know what?
Go ahead, say it.
Prince be randomly dissing Moon.
Oh, I mean, they do eat tuna.
I said tuna breath.
Yeah. Baby Tuna Breath. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Everything in America is intrinsically linked because we're in the same country. All right, with each other, folks. You know, the Morgans, and it's all has foreign influence as well.
It would be funny if the Black Effect podcast gets sold to an AI private equity, or they go straight into AI, which is what I think he gonna
They
do.
will, because they throwing that bag out. And everybody online, they capping for Mary J. Blige. Why was she allowed to use her video anywhere?
She and no. Man, fuck out of here.
Yeah, like, bro, come on now. And they talking about, they talking about Suno right behind Mary J. Blige's name. Dr. Dre already came out and said he's in full support of AI.
Mary J a bad bitch. Mary J a bad bitch.
Right? Deep water. All right, so look, we'll continue. You guys know the angles that we normally take, y'all. It's going to be a little bit different. You guys can do your thing. It's back to you all's regularly scheduled program. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Thought Crimes. We love you guys so much. Y'all take care. Enjoy the rest of your night. Excuse me, day. But it depends on where you are. Some of you all might be working on your third shift. Say that again, Sam?
Damn, Prince don't even know what time it is.
I hate that nigga. All right, y'all. We love y'all. Y'all take care.
Thought Crimes. Thought crimes. Thought crimes.
Oh my God, what's this? LP? Oh my God, what's this?
Thought crimes.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow.
Oh my God, what's this? LP?
And I sing happy, and I sing happy, and I sing.
airwaves. Alright, now, I'm here to kick the ballistics. Check out Thought Crimes. Are you following me? Coming through your airways. Coming through your airways. You ain't gonna get me with that one.